What's up, YouTube? Subscribe to this channel. This is going to be the last time you ever see our face anyways. Last video ever.
Hopefully not.
All right, we're about to get this thing going. What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It is January 22nd. It's a Tuesday. We got Dr. Chapa in studio. Have about 16 seconds, and we're going to get this thing going for real. I'm excited about the show today. We're talking about health, being healthy. We're also on this detox. We're on a cleanse, and we're going to see how it's going for everybody. I'm feeling pretty good. Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
And we have Dr. Aaron Chapa in studio. This is some Chapa talk on a Tuesday. Dr. Chapa usually joins us every Tuesday, right?
Yeah, every Tuesday from 8:30 to about 9:30-ish. It's a good time for sure to get your health questions in. If you have something that you are dealing with in your life, if there is a health concern that you just wanted to, you don't want to go to the doctor, but you want to ask a doctor, Dr. Aaron Chapa is in studio today to ask your questions. We're also wrapping up our 21-day detox Sunday. So this is the final stretch, the home stretch. I haven't cheated yet. Gardy, have you?
No, cheated at what?
Cheated on the cleanse.
Why would I cheat? Does this look like a guy who cheats?
A little bit.
At what? Like video games?
Video games,
board games,
basketball.
No, sir. I have not. As far as I know, I've tried to stay strong. I even went out of town, had to make some adjustments, just like plan ahead. But as far as I know, I'm doing the best that I can. And I feel like that's all I really have, all I can do. But I am excited to have Dr. Chapa in studio. Maybe y'all are participating on this cleanse with us. Maybe you're interested in participating on the cleanse with us next week. You know, it's not too late for you to join in on this. There's a meeting this Thursday at Butler's Courtyard where if you want to find out more information about this, and I've been asked by a lot of people, so what are you doing? You know, what are the benefits of this? Why are you doing this? You know, what is it going to do for me? And I've been giving them my best answers. What about you? People have been asking you, why are you doing that? What's going on?
Yeah, the people just want to know, like, hey, why are you doing this? I think for me, it's a little bit easier because I look like I need a cleanse. You, on the other hand, they're like, Gardy, why are you doing this cleanse? You're already skinny. You're already looking good. Curt, you definitely need to keep doing the cleanse.
Well, everybody can benefit from a cleanse, you know, inside and out. It doesn't, it's not going to hurt you. You know, you can be in the best shape of your life, but if you accept the challenge and say, hey, I'm going to take a break from eating fast food. I'm going to take a break from eating food that I normally indulge in, like even desserts and sugar and those sweets and processed food. Hey, my body needs time to heal. There's a lot of things going in on the inside. And I mean, you know, I've been losing weight from this. I also feel better. I've not been drinking caffeine. I've been sleeping just fine and things have been good. Drinking more water.
Yeah, drinking more water. Here's the one thing that the first time we did this cleanse last, August or so?
Yeah.
I didn't hear this very often, but going to these meetings, Dr. Chopper, I've heard tons and tons of people talk about how this cleanse is about giving your digestive tract a break. And maybe it was said back in August, but I wasn't really paying attention to that piece.
I'm shocked.
As a
one in ear, out the other,
right
over the head.
But it's really kind of cool because you're giving your digestive tract a break from all of the nastiness that we put in from like hamburgers and hot dogs, you know, and corn dogs.
Keep going.
40 of them, you know, like it gives yourself that break. And that's kind of cool to see at these meetings that are taking place Thursday night at Butler's Courtyard.
Yeah. So that's Thursday, and there's going to be a speaker there in attendance, right?
Yep. Dr. Patrick Krepka is going to be there, and him and I are going to basically do a Q&A. It's going to be a very cool setting. And, you know, Dr. Pat is a very dynamic personality. So he will definitely field the hard questions, whatever they are, because he's a clinician. He's a trench worker just like I am. So we see this stuff day in and day out. And at 6:30 p.m. at Butler's Courtyard here in League City, Texas, we want to invite all of you guys to come hang out with us for an hour and learn how to, you know, what's life look like after you do a detox, or what other questions you got going on, whether it's digestive complaints or thyroid complaints. And he's another level of authority that we've decided to bring down and to share with you guys, because him and I have been friends for over 13 years and we've learned a lot from one another. We seminar together, and I felt that it would be a great synergistic environment where we could all come together and just brainstorm on this idea of healthy living, because there's so much wrapped up around what is healthy living these days, and people are looking for answers, or looking for how to integrate this into a busy lifestyle. And just like you had to make course correction when you were on travel, it's not always easy to do this thing, and we want people to realize they can. I had a guy come in the other day and I said, "Hey, did you start your detox yet?" He goes, "No, my church decided to do a fast." And I'm like, well, it sounds like you're perfectly set up to participate in the detox program with your church. And he goes, "Yeah, but the diet was slightly different." I said, "Well, then we make slight modifications." But you remember, when you're detoxing with me, if you're already doing some kind of dietary fast, you might as well put the body into not just a cleansing state with the diet, but then you put it into a detox state where you can purge old, unwanted toxins from deep inside the body, whether it's in the fat cells, brain cells, or joint tissue. And your body wants to get rid of this stuff. It needs to get rid of this stuff. And what happens whenever you go through these processes, you're giving your body that opportunity to allow the environment, allow the stage to be set so that we can get rid of unwanted junk, toxin, debris that causes our body to shut down or not perform like it's supposed to, or be in a state of accelerated aging, which nobody wants to be.
No, everybody wants to be young, stay young, keep this body in the best shape for as long as you can. So we have a question. And here's a statement as well. So it says, "Wish me luck. I start statistics today. So best wishes to you. I know you're going to do awesome in your statistics class. Make sure you take notes." That's what I always tell my son. I don't think he ever does. He's only 6. And then the next question says, "Can doing a cleanse help prevent cancer in the intestinal tract?"
I'm going to tell you, absolutely it can, because when you take the time to not put in the junk food, the processed food, the 180 to 300 pounds of sugar per person per year that people consume, you're not allowing any stagnation to occur in that gut lining. What happens when you're dealing with types of cancers is they just are old cesspools that never drained out. And that cesspool turned into an inflammatory state, an infectious state, and then never still was handled and turned into what we call cancer. Your body goes in and out of a state of cancer 160 times a day. Your body knows what those cancer cells looks like, and your body, in a smart body, a body well fed, a body well nourished, a body that is well hydrated, a body that's well rested and de-stressed, has the capability to process out those conversions back into normal healthy tissue and discard what is not useful. So when you do a detox, you're giving not only your digestive tract a break from the processed life, you're allowing your liver to be decongested. You're allowing your lymphatic systems to drain. You're allowing your body to perform at a level that it wasn't able to before, because food matters. And that's why we encourage people all the time, not just to do a detox once a year, but every 6 months, every quarter, and depending on the situation.
Okay, so we have another question as well. This is from Solion. What's up, Solion? She said, "Ask Dr. Chapa if there's anything I can take that can prevent my ongoing migraines." I remember she had commented maybe even about a week ago saying, "Man, I don't know what it is. I woke up, my head is just killing me, and I'm just trying to keep going through, eating the way I'm supposed to."
Yeah. So when we're dealing with migraines and we're dealing with headaches, we always want to look first to what are you putting in your body, and how long have you been putting in your body? How long have you been suffering with these migraines? Because the migraines are just a check engine light that something's not doing what it's supposed to be doing in your body. And it's manifesting this way. So what I would always tell people is I first want them to understand why their body's breaking down. Because when you understand why your body's breaking down, you have an opportunity to make a course correction that can fix that underlying issue. And so we look to the digestive tract first when we're dealing with the gut. Or with dealing with migraines, because the digestive tract will constantly back up the liver and back up the lymphatics, which will then go out what we call the high lymph system. That's your ears, eyes, nose, throat, and or be stored toxins in the brain, and that's where these migraines are manifesting, is recirculating toxicity in and through the tissues. People go, well, isn't it due to my nervous system in my brain, like something's wrong with my brain? I mean, I'm not going to say that you can't have a tumor in your head and that cause a migraine, but most of the people walking around with migraines that are migraine sufferers, I just 13 years of experience, guys, and I've seen this 95% of the time. It's not a tumor. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger said, it's not a tumor, a tumor.
I'm very fortunate. I don't get headaches, but like rarely ever. But when I do, I almost turn into a baby because I don't ever have them.
Yeah, and you're not used to the suffering pain. And I've met people that have been able to, get double major in their with migraine suffering. I've seen people play sports with migraines, and it's amazing that they're capable of it. But what's wild to me is whenever, I ask them to make changes in their diet and they can't give up the Lucky Charms, or they can't give up the cereal, they can't give up the stuff, and it's sad because they don't have to suffer. And my message to people is, hey, if you look at the symptom patterns that your body is giving you, like, bless you.
Thank you.
It was almost like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where he was taking a day off and he's got that piano and he's calling in and he's got people listening and he's got all this sick noise in the background. It was kind of funny. So anyway, flashback. Sorry, just dated myself. And but the food that we put in our body, it's not easy, guys, to make these lifestyle choices, especially when billions of dollars are spent on you buying a particular brand of this or that and reaching for the processed cardboard that is probably more nutritious than the actual contents. And we've got to get people to realize that the symptom patterns you're dealing with, whether they're migraines. So in my office, we would start with your GI system, Sullivan, because one of the things that we know is the gut is the start, 80% of the game. Then we go to the liver. Then we go looking for lymphatic stagnation so we can clean out infections in your body, whether they're bacterial, viral, mold. We would be doing different types of tests to figure out why your body's manifesting migraines. And a lot of times if it's not in the bowel, it's in the liver. We got to keep tweaking your system and turn those rocks upside down so we can find all the reasons why your body's breaking down. You believe me, you don't have a neurological drug deficiency. Those are just painting over rust. They're not fixing your underlying cause. We've got to find out and ask you. And this is one of the things that we do at Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center is we go through a timeline history where we're going to strategize a plan on finding that underlying issue. We're going to run the necessary tests that need to be run in order to find the underlying issue. And so we encourage people that if you're suffering with symptom patterns you were not genetically born with, high blood pressure, if you have palpitations, if you have GI problems, if you have skin rashes, if you have headaches, migraines, allergies, whatever it is, your body can and will help will reverse that if you give it the environment to do so. And we are helping people day in and day out with food, with nutrient replenishment, with detoxification to give the body that environment to heal.
Okay, and we have another question from Monique. Y'all keep these questions coming. This is great. I love whenever we're able to get all of these questions answered. There's a ton coming in, and we're going to get to all of them that we can. So Monique, what's up? Good morning. She said, what is the best natural supplement or foods for treating hypertension, high blood pressure?
All right, so number one, I can't tell you how many times it's not what you eat's important, but what you don't eat is more important. Sorry. So guys, let me tell you, when you're dealing with high blood pressure, most of the time it's a food allergy, and it's your body responding as you would hope it would. It would be on high alert, regulated, a DEFCON 6 or whatever to find out what's causing that inflammation. And it's typically a wheat, dairy allergy. And I've seen it time and time again. People get into cheese, yogurt, sour cream, ice cream, whey protein, and their body just malfunctions and their blood pressure starts to climb. And I've seen it go up 10 points, 20 points. The second thing that drives high blood pressure is stress. And it's stress on a particular system in the body called your adrenal glands. Your adrenal glands are your stress management system. They regulate your day-to-day activities. They also regulate how you process your environment, how you handle and manage stress. And if you're burning the midnight oil, if you're running and gunning day in and day out, and your adrenals aren't getting the rest and recovery they need during a good night of sleep, we would see it. You'd wake up several times a night, stare at the ceiling, wonder why you're awake, maybe toss and turn a little bit, go back to bed, but you don't ever feel restless or rested. Or maybe you wake up more tired in the morning than whenever you went to bed. These are signs that your body's not getting that rest that those adrenals need. Mm-hmm. And that's where you see the systolic blood pressure be higher than the diastolic, being an issue, like 30 points up, on that top number. And people freak out about that all the time, and they get put on drugs for that all the time. And I've seen too many times, by doing a detox like we do, or just addressing food allergens. And we have a program, by the way, next month is, We Heart You. We love all of you. It's going to be our Heart Month. We're going to be talking a lot about cardiovascular health all through the month of February, and we're going to be talking to the idea of blood pressure. So we have our heart sound recorder that we can run and listen to the heart in all 4 of your valves and see what those valves are doing. We can see nutritional deficiencies, mineral deficiencies, vitamin deficiencies, essential fatty acid deficiencies, just by listening to the heart. And it's fascinating. So there's a lot on this conversation of hypertension, but first, it's not what you eat that's important. It's what you
don't eat.
Do eat. Oh,
no,
wait.
Don't eat.
Curt, during this cleanse and this detox, have you noticed better sleep? Do you wake up rested better? Are you more tired when you wake up? Have you noticed a difference at all when it comes to that?
I've noticed the biggest issue is at usually about 9, 10 o'clock, I used to get really, really tired, even though I'd push through those last 2 hours and work and whatnot, or play video games or whatnot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally work. Yeah.
Play video games. But at 9 or 10 o'clock
Candy
now,
Crush.
9 or 10 o'clock now, I'm not feeling that tiredness. I'm like, I could stay up forever kind of mentality.
Really?
And then I sleep really, really well, even though it's about 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah, I think that's about normal what people get.
So 6 to 7.5 hours of sleep is really great.
But I usually need
Must
about
be
10.
Nice.
Different.
10,
usually
10 hours.
10 is I feel well rested after 10 hours.
What I would tell you at that point is, at 10 hours, that's too much.
You're just wasting time. You're just lazy.
I love sleeping for 10 hours for sure.
I don't. My body starts to hurt if I'm in bed for that long. I'm just like, give me out.
Oh man,
So,
if I could lay in bed all day,
think
every
of
day.
Saturday, with it being so cold outside. The last thing I wanted to do was get out of bed.
Right.
But my body sees that sunshine, and it's like, oh, it's game time.
I hated it on Saturday because Saturdays I usually get to sleep in till noon, 1 o'clock, but I can't. I was up at 7. I'm like, curse you, Dr. Chapa, for letting me get up at 7 o'clock again.
Wow.
I think that's amazing. I don't know, but you can't be casting curses on me.
No curse.
You need to say, bless you, Dr. Chapa, for giving me energy and vitality to get through the day.
Yes, that was a blessing.
I like how you just called him out and be like, hey, and you're like, oh, yeah, no. But he was just like, curse you.
Yeah. So I would say whenever I do a detox, and as I've gone through several detoxes, 39 to be exact, this is my 39th. The things that I've noticed the most is that I go to bed when the sun goes down, 9:30. My body starts shutting down. I wake up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in the morning. I'm able to go. And it's been fun for me because I like having energy and vitality. I find also that I tell more stories. I share experiences in the office. I don't get caught up in just going through the process of my day and the motions, and I don't get caught in any of that. I'm always looking to share an event, share an experience. And this Thursday, the event events, this is our
Butler's Courtyard.
And listen, I do want to make one thing perfectly notable, is that everybody that is doing detox should be there. But even if you're not doing a detox, this is not just a detox talk. This is going to talk to what is life like trying to stay healthy in a life world that we live in that doesn't promote it, or when you do travel, or whenever you have a condition that you've been dealing with. We're going to be talking to many topics, and anything, it can be driven in any direction based on the group that we have and the questions that are asked. And because Dr. Patrick is a clinician like myself, him and I will be able to talk to a lot of today's concerns, autoimmune conditions, thyroid condition, hormone imbalances, how to get the body to lose the weight that last 10 pounds that you're trying to get rid of. I mean, all the different aspects that you all have as in the form of questions. And so we're going to be talking to not just this idea of detox. We've done that for the last 2 weeks. And now we're going to be finishing up this conversation and launching into what does life look like whenever we're not focused on a plan. And we have to build in some of the strategic food ideas that we liked on the detox, but maybe not every day's going to be a detox. There's a party coming up. There's a rodeo coming up. There's all kinds of things that are going to distract us.
Super Bowl coming up.
Exactly.
So we have another question. What's up, Leah? Leah is a part of Moms on a Mission, MOM. They're actually having a fundraiser today at Burger Nation this evening where you use the code word MOM, and we're going to talk about that more later. But Leah has a question.
I think it's Sarah, isn't it?
Kurt, can I... Do you want here? You take this.
Oh, it is Leah. They're both on. Okay, never mind. I said, hey, Leah.
You hate
Let's
Leah?
get ready
What'd
to
you
rumble.
I said hi to Sarah and said hi, Leah, because I always forget that Sarah is Leah. Okay.
I know. I hear about that. Kurt's really bad with names.
Guys, if there wasn't a table between y'all, I'm pretty sure we would have just had a brawl right there.
I would like that. There's a lot of me that would, like.
I think you still might be detoxing out of your liver. There's a little bit of.
No, I'm trying to detox Kurt out of my life. And I'm trying to see, this is my second detox, so I'm trying to see maybe my third one, Kurt will just like that.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, Leah. Let me get to your question real quick. She said, you mentioned having trouble sleeping. I don't have high blood pressure in general. Mine is really low, but I have been having a lot of trouble sleeping. Melatonin helps. I'm still waking up 4 to 5 times a night. Do you have any thoughts?
Absolutely. So 4 times a night. My next question, if you're still out there, is are you waking up to stare at the ceiling or are you waking up to pee? If it's waking up to pee, then there's a liver glitch. There's something going on. Your liver's most active between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. and it needs extra support. And the other aspect is, even though it doesn't feel like it's a blood sugar issue, it might very well be to some degree, or it's your adrenals. We'd have to start asking lifestyle questions and finding out, all right, are you building a business? Are you working, multiple hours and overtime? And are you running a home at night? And what's all going on in your life that might need extra stress support? Or is it simply, I don't jump to melatonin yet because that's neurotransmitter work. That's way down on the hierarchy. We always start with the basics: vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, that's foods, and nutrients replenishment. So we'd come in and we would say, all right, well, let's see if we can just give you some daily adrenal support. We use a product in our office called Adaptocrine, one of my very favorite product. It does so many wonderful things to nourish and heal the adrenals and get them back on track. And then Mintran. And the Mintran might be the very breaks that your body needs to go into a deep sleep cycle. And there's an argument out there that is made, should you dream, should you not dream? I like to help people understand, everybody dreams. Like when you hit level 3 and 4 sleep, you're dreaming, but you should be subconscious. So I don't think unless God has a message for you, you should be aware of your dreaming.
Like every night.
Every night. That's right. Because that is things for people. And I've heard people speak to this but you're in a subconscious state. You're supposed to be transferring long-term or short-term memories and today's memories and learning into long-term memory storage and organization. That happens through the hippocampus, and that happens at level 3 and 4 sleep. That is a subconscious state. We are not awake. If you are watching movies in your head while you sleep, because this is the stories that come in. I mean, it's funny, right? You've heard it.
Vivid.
And then they wake up in the morning and they're like, I just literally watched a horror movie, or I watched this event or that event, and I feel so like run down and tired. That is an indication that your body is not sleeping.
I usually only remember my dreams whenever I'm on the verge of being awake. There's that place where it's like, am I asleep? Am I awake? And then you're dreaming. And
that's typically towards the morning, right? Like,
right, exactly.
But think about what's happening. You're coming out of another level of sleep cycle. Remember, we should have 4 to 5 sleep cycles a night. They're an hour-and-a-half interval each. So that is 6 to 7.5 hours of total sleep a night at minimum, up to 9, not 10, Kurt. And when you need 9+ hours of sleep, guys, I think that there's a reason your body's putting you in a deep sleep cycle, and or that long period, because your body needs that excess rest to repair and recover, because you have so many burdens that your body is carrying, it needs that extra hour or 2 or 3 or 4.
You know, it
Or
is
10.
hard though. Every hour and a half, my cat like jumps on my face and wakes
Well,
me
tell
up.
your
just
cat to
slaps
stop
you.
doing that. I mean, hello.
I
cat
do.
hates
I'm
you.
like, Pip.
We do have one other. So just to quickly answer that again, it was adaptocrine to feed the adrenals during the day, Mintran at night, and if that's, but still. Come in. Let's talk that out. Again, it sounds like there's more to that story because you're not high blood pressure. Most people aren't, guys. Not everybody's got high blood pressure or blood sugar issues. But there is a story to be told, and I want to hear yours. We want to hear yours at
That's
Living Well
cool.
Clinical Nutrition Center. We have one other one here. That was kind of a play on anything for glycemic control. Glycemic controls blood sugar all day long, which could be adrenal again. It could be liver again. I had a patient just last week say, I can't believe it, but like my blood sugar is so stable on this thing. Now, she didn't have insulin dependent diabetes. She didn't have type 2 diabetes. She wasn't on metformin or whatever the drugs that people are on. But she knows that in the past, if she misses a meal, she gets, what is it? Hangry. Who out there gets hangry? When you get hangry,
I've been guilty.
yeah, I think we all have at some level. But when it's a reoccurring issue and you find yourself agitated, irritated, and you can't make it, shaky or irritable when you miss a meal, that is a blood sugar issue. And it might be called hypoglycemic, or it might be called that you have a congested liver or a congested or a weak adrenal system.
Hanger issues.
Hanger
management.
issues. That's right.
And that's just going to
Hangry
like
issues. I like that.
the buffet.
And it fixes everything. So what we do for glycemic management is we teach you what foods you should be eating more of and what foods you should be eating less of. That'd be very nice. Curt is see, this is what happens. Week 3 of detox, and Curt is on the horn there. I love it. And so glycemic management, we're going to come in there and we could help your body with B vitamins. We could help your body with just liver decongestion, and you'll see your system just come right in line and right in order. So great, Sherry. Thanks for that.
Here's another one. Ashley, what's up out there in Louisiana? She said she's going to be coming and visiting this part of town in this summer. But she said, what about skin issues? With my hyperthyroidism, my skin changes. I notice when I'm having issues with it. It's either oily or my skin peels, mainly on my nose or my scalp. So what can we do, I guess, through diet and detoxing where we can help our skin issues?
So interesting. She gave us a little extra information, right? So she said oily skin. She said on her nose and scalp is primarily where she has this shedding, peeling situation happening. That's in the high lymph system. So we now categorize, if we go back to earlier conversation, and this is what we are all about at Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, is to figure out like the system of approach on why your body's breaking down. And so my brain goes, oh, she's got high lymph stuff going on. It's coming out of her scalp. It's coming off her nose. Her skin is oily on her face, maybe all over, but it's definitely in this area. So we say this is one area of congestion where the lymphatics aren't draining. Why? And I hate to be a broken record, but it could be her primary exit channel. Her bowels aren't running cleanly every day, or her liver's congested because she's eating the wrong fats like canola oil or peanut oils or processed partially hydrogenated oil, cottonseed oil, whatever the bad oil that we're getting into, vegetable oil. And by getting these bad oils out, that might be the solution. But one of the things that we know is if when things are going out your ears, eyes, nose, throat, scalp, your toxicity is high, your burden is high, and your body's using your skin as an exit channel. So we want to get that skin to not be an exit channel, because nobody wants to be, let it go out their skin. They want to push it out their main body process system, their intestines. And this is where we start. So when we do detox, we help with cleaning out the lower baseline so that we can get the skin to not be used, or we feed the skin. Like, what if the skin's like damaged because we've been dealing with this for years and years?
Yeah.
And so now we have to feed, the skin itself. And that really is, what's the mirror image? What's your skin the mirror image of? Do you all remember?
What's on the inside?
That's right. Your
Yeah.
digestive tract.
Mhm.
So wait, if they're beautiful on the outside, then they're also beautiful on the inside?
Of course.
See?
Of course.
See?
Wow.
Beauty is not just skin deep. It's from the inside out.
I would have to say that it is definitely a very
I think
he's making a case. I think
but he's talking about his shallow preference.
Hey, this isn't a dating show, Curt.
That's not today.
Not today, anyways.
That was last
February,
Thursday whenever Curt was out. I mean, Gardy was out.
Oh man, I watched as much as I could.
You missed a lot, Gardy. You missed a lot.
Hey, something else that I think is really cool, and this is what this detox and cleanse is doing for a lot of people. So Solian mentioned that she is going to be continuing on with this way of eating and lifestyle, that she's even going as far as planting a garden at her mom's house and trying to grow, some fruit and vegetables and just continue on with this healthy way of natural eating. So I think that's really neat, because this can inspire people and just jumpstart the way you do things. It will
inspire people. And this is one of the things that I try to also encourage people to grasp hold of. When you start making lifestyle changes and you start taking the bull by the horns, like let's say that, I've had 2 reports. One gentleman lost 22 pounds on the detox, and in the 21 days.
Wow.
And his son was, you know how kids are, they always play with us, right? And they're so playful, and he was playing and he played a joke on his dad, and then he takes off down the hall and his dad chases after him. Well, his son was thinking, I got this. I'm going to jump up on this and this. I'm going to jump over this. And his dad did the exact same thing, and he got him. And the son's eyes just got all big, and he was like in shock. Like, I didn't know my dad could do that.
It's not the old dad.
It's right.
Yeah.
And the dad goes, and you can thank Dr. Chapa for this. And I was so excited, because you don't realize the impact that we can make by being healthier. Like, when people don't feel good, they don't perform good. They're missing parts of their vitality, their impact on the world, and their impact on their immediate surroundings.
Family life.
Not every one of us is going to influence millions and millions of people, but we might influence one that does. And people do watch everything that you do. And they always say that, that people do what you do. They don't necessarily do what you say, especially in the parenting realm. Like, my kids are going to see my good habits and my bad habits. And unfortunately, they're going to pick up some of my bad habits. And I just can only pray that I'm not doing too many of those, and I'm not perfect by any means, but we hope that we're integrating enough good lifestyle habits so that they can at least live a healthier lifestyle, and making them consciously aware. Like, my daughter went to Collide this weekend, where all the churches kind of do that whole, mission Bible time together. And she is on a detox. Well, she said, Cookies were everywhere, Daddy, and I didn't have one of them. And I said, honey, you have no idea how excited I am for you.
Has she done them before? The detox?
Well, there's been times in the past where we've just, instead of putting them on like a detox per se, we put them on a sugar-free diet for and stuff like that, And so we picked a part of the detox that we wanted to torture them with, and that was fun. And she's getting it, right? And every time that, just like you guys, this is your second one. This is some of these people's first time to go through this process. Every time you start making lifestyle changes, it's going to create conversations in and through your world where people are going to ask you questions, ask you what you're doing, and they're going to be inspired because of your effort and dedication to the process. And so I just want to encourage people, recognize that you are that spark in somebody's life somewhere today. Every one of us is a spark for somebody.
It's 9:08. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. Feel free to share this video out. Ask any questions that you have, whether it goes pertaining to your diet, detoxing, nutrition. There's a couple of questions that we still need to get asked, and then we're going to keep it going. So we have a question about jumpstarting your metabolism. Is there anything you can do to kind of, jumpstart your metabolism?
Yes, absolutely. So first, plan on being at our event this Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. at Butler's Courtyard with Dr. Pat and I, where we're going to be talking about just that very thing, like metabolism. Like, how can you get your body to burn body fat, keep your lean muscle mass, to help and heal, a weak thyroid system, or a weak, symptomatic issue going on in your body, whatever it is. But just to answer the question here in this kind of frame of mind is, it's all about what you can name, you can control. If you can name a thing, you can control a thing. So I want you to start tracking your food log. And I want you to look at what it is that you put in your body for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if you start seeing a pattern, hey, you know what? I always eat cereal only for breakfast. Well, let's change that. Let's change that to proteins for breakfast for a week or two and see if you notice a change. And maybe you'll notice you got energy all morning long now and you crash at lunch because you went out and had, a burger and fries.
You know, the
Bread
one thing that I've noticed since being on the cleanse has been that I'm not taking the shakes as much as the first time. I felt like I had to get through the day eating two shakes.
Yeah.
I do the shake in the morning and I'm fine. Like I could probably go all day without eating if I needed to.
And I remember that first time you almost went through like 3 tubs of shake because you were like, I'm hungry. But that's what, again, when your body is when your body is toxic, you find yourself glycemically challenged. And when your body is eating clean, healthy, real rich food, all of a sudden your body doesn't need all of those, the calories coming in at the mass level that you were putting it in before. You're training it to be a I don't want to say more of a managed dietary intake,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, this is also why I'm thinking I am going to do a 3-day water after the cleanse is done.
But I thought you were doing a detox once a month. Is that still something you're interested in? Like the rest of 2019, trying to detox 21 days?
I feel like I could easily do that. It would be easy for me to do. This has been super easy.
I think that what happens is you just have to find those places, what I find people do is when you go from this part of the detox, one of the things that I like to do next with folks is I like to do a bowel cleanse. And you're thinking, well, what didn't I just do that? And I'm like, well, no, we've been detoxing. So there's sediment and debris and stuff that is kind of like, it's the cleanup party. So we use, activated charcoal, bentonite clay, products like that binders to come in post detox and suck some of the trash out of the bowel and any residue that might be built up. And then we follow that up with a kidney flush. And so in my office, this isn't it. Like there's way more things to do because people are still having these symptom patterns. Like, she's talking about, she had 2 migraines yesterday. And so we've got to figure out, all right, maybe she needs a detox. Maybe she needs her kidneys clean. Maybe she needs she's got a deep-rooted infection that's stagnating her lymph system. There's something in her history that's being missed. And because I doubt that this is the first time she's ever told the world that she's got migraine issues. So my answer is, hey, look, if you had 2 migraines or 2 years on migraine, what we can do to help serve that is find out first where your body's breaking down, and then we start building a case from there. And I just get excited because I see people suffering, and when they come in and start working through the process of our 5 steps to health, one of the things that I teach them that there's nothing that's going to help them as much as if they just stick with the program long enough and they follow through with the recommendations to the best of their ability. And it doesn't mean you have to live perfect. So what if 1 month you got a really busy month, Curt, and you don't do a 21 day, but you do a 10 day, and you're like, oh yeah, I focused hard for 10 days this month. And I had a few days where I was off. What happens is you're never going to be as off as you would have been had you not done that 10 days.
Anything at all.
That when you're actively doing something, your mindset is always taking into consideration this health journey. And what it does is over time, it builds in this habit. And so you're able to get healthier, stay healthier, and live healthier.
Are we allowed to eat mints? I see Curt pulling over these
that's sugar.
lifesavers.
What's going on with that?
I think it is.
That is sugar.
He has 4 bottles of water.
I like 4
using
bottles
Ethan
of water.
as
Well, I have been feeling since the attack before the show.
You're gonna bring this up?
What attack?
Gardy was like,
Let me just see your tongue. Let me just see your tongue, and I'll use these. They're disinfecting wipes. It kills 99.9% of germs.
Gardy was like, Curt, your breath stinks, and I'm like, really?
That's not how it went down. You're making it sound a lot worse than it was. I brought it up in a professional manner that sometimes I think that a cleanse and a detox can cause things to come out.
Absolutely. So we've had patients that had a history of smoking, for example, and all of a sudden, as they were going through the detox, they started smelling like nicotine, and people would comment on it, and they were like, "There's no way, no how. I haven't had a cigarette in 10 years," and that's because their body was purging stuff out of their body. if you've got bad breath, that is an indicator that there's liver lymphatic toxicity, burdens that your body is carrying that we've got to release. And guess what? The reason everybody's breath is stinky in the morning is because your lung meridian is most active between 3 and 5 a.m. It's like your smokestacks. The smokestack, on a chemical plant factory, is always releasing gases into the air, right? Then it's got a sewage underneath that is your bowels that you're eliminating. Well, your lungs are most active right after the chemical factory was most active. From 1 to 3, your liver, 3 to 5, your lungs, and that's why your breath stinky in the morning. And then your bowels are most active between 5 and 7. So guess when you should have your biggest bowel movement of the day?
In the morning.
In the morning. That's right. So if you're not having a bowel movement till 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Ethan, did you have one in the morning today?
This is
Give
an
him a
awkward.
mic.
I'm sorry. Sorry, keep going, Dr. Sharma.
So, but reality is if you assess your bowels, you can tell a lot about your overall health and vitality. So people go, I'm not looking at my bowel. Why? You can determine if maybe what you got rid of is like 3-4 days ago worth of stuff, and maybe what you put in yesterday isn't coming out until later. And that is some of what we have to find out when people are suffering with skin issues or migraine or allergy. And we look at bowel transit time. How quickly is your bowels moving waste, debris, and toxins through your system? Your body is supposed to take the food in, you assimilate and use what you need, and you get rid of and evacuate what we don't need. And if that stuff sits in there for more than 1 day, 2 days, 3 days in a 98.6 degree environment, that's 100 degrees, it's going to be rotten. And there's where parasites come from. There's where bacterium come from. There's where, yeast and overgrowth and this dysbiosis or imbalance in the gut ecology starts to manifest itself. So we're always looking at bowel health as 80% of the game. 80% of all disease that you ever see somebody go through, deal with yourself, started in your digestive tract. And again, this is some of what we're going to be talking about, coming up this Thursday night at Butler's Courtyard with Dr. Pat. So guys, if you are detoxing, if you're not detoxing, if you're curious to know more about health, wellness, and vitality, we just want to take this time to invite you personally, come out, hang out with us. We have plenty of room, and we have a beautiful facility at Butler's Courtyard. I mean, it is just absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous place. And so even if you've never been over there, and you don't have a wedding event planned, you might have some other big party planned or family reunion. And, she's just been absolutely a delight to work with, and can't say enough great things about Amber Murphy and her team at Butler's Courtyard.
So I have a question. Yesterday, we went to a place called Olympia Grill in League City, and we go there quite often. It's been a great source of support for us to stay on this detox and cleanse. I ordered a side of like a veggie skewer. So it's like grilled veggies that they had, right? Someone across from me ordered a salad, a Greek salad with the gyro meat on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, hey, would you like to try some? And it's lamb. And I said, well, I don't think I'm allowed to. They're like, oh, well, it's good for you. It's healthy. It's maybe better than some of the other options. And so I just wanted to get, I guess, your opinion on that.
So technically on detox, like I went to over there and I had the Greek chicken. I had the grilled chicken, and so I did the chicken, and I stay away from gamey meats or red meats. And so it's in the gamey meat category, but bet your bottom dollar after detox, that's one of my salads for sure.
Okay, because everybody was like, just go. Kurt was there, Crystal. They're like, just eat it.
If you'd have had a bite of it, it wouldn't have killed you.
I did not. I said, don't eat it because lamb is a brown meat. You can only eat white meat.
Look at him. I'm sure that's what he said. I'm sure he wasn't the devil on your shoulder saying, eat it.
Yeah, no, I said no.
I was saying, no. And that was my next question, because at Burger Nation, which we're probably going to be going there later this evening, but they have a camel burger. They have an elk burger, but then they also have turkey burgers and chicken sandwiches. So I was going to be like, is an elk burger okay? Is a camel burger for our cleanse? But those are going to be the gamey ones.
Yeah, those are the gamey ones and exotic ones, but it sounds delicious. Okay, here's one. And I don't know if y'all spoke to this already, but I get tension headaches daily from my RA. Well, number one, one of the things I want to encourage you, Miss Ashley, is to not identify with RA and it's yours. Like sometimes, like the simply wording, don't accept that it's your RA. say, this is something that's going on in your body, but definitely don't receive it as something that you want to be identified as dealing with day in and day out. And but the headaches, for sure, tension headaches are typically in the neck stiffness or shoulder tension that rise up, grab hold of the base of your head, reach up around your temples and pluck your eyeballs out if it gets really severe. And every time that we have these types of situations, and because you, in this case, gave us the clue that you have rheumatoid arthritis, by the way, guys, this is a very debilitating joint autoimmune situation. And but it's not a death sentence. And that's what I want to encourage you. It's not a death sentence, and we can help you. And it's going to start absolutely with what you eat and us helping you realize to get rid of what you need to get rid of food-wise that is causing your body to be slow and stagnant. And we need to want to clean that liver up. And for sure, we can make a difference in helping you relieve those tension headaches. And you might be surprised. That might be the simplest of symptoms to get rid of. And the real task is reversing, the immune effect on tackling your joints. Whenever your joints need to be healthy and strong, your immune system sees them as foreign and, not a part of your body.
Man, that mint, not good for my body right now. Like, that was powerful. That was a lot of sugar.
How long was it in your mouth?
Not very long. Just enough to clean out.
So this segues beautifully into the next question. Can toxins build up and cause chronic sinusitis? So when you're eating sugar by the truckload, it can totally build up and accumulate in your body. If it can't get it out, its healthy exit systems, it's going to back right up and go out your sinuses, get stored up in your sinuses. And then guess what do you think the number one food source is for bacteria?
Cheese.
Sugar.
But
what does cheese do is it locks up the lymphatics and things don't drain out. And when it gets stuck and stagnant, and you're feeding it, man, it's like a frat party gone wild, man. Like you can't get support in there to clean up the mess, and you've got unlimited supply of sugars that cause all kinds of advancement of the disease process. And sometimes when they get out of hand, that's when people are suffering with chronic sinusitis or sinus headaches or sinus infections or whatever's going on. So
cool,
definitely.
It's 9:22 right now. This is KHEA.com, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. We got Dr. Aaron Chapa in studio talking about everything that has to do with health. If you have anything in your body that's going on you weren't born with, feel free to ask a question. We'll see if we can get you an answer today. So we've been doing this cleanse and detox. We're on I forget what day. All I know is Sunday's our last day.
16? Is this day 16?
I believe so. And I can't believe it.
15 yesterday. Is today's the day that you did the little walkthrough and was like, hey guys, day 16, bye?
I don't know.
Was it day 16 or 17?
I can't remember. But I guess we'll all see it who's on our little text video thing. I mean, that's going to be cool.
Yes.
And I'm kind of curious to see what kind of comments we get from that. So anyway, I've been doing this for 13 years, and I'm always amazed that I see something new every day. And everybody's got a place that they need to start. And we always start at the basics. Food is your medicine. We've got to address your food. The diet and digestion basics are key. And many people can't make some of those dietary recommendations because people make it too hard. So what we try to do is we try and lower the gradient to help you just make one step of change, 1 degree of change back towards a healthy lifestyle. And, we've had, patients that were addicted to Diet Coke, and they were so addicted to Diet Coke that drinking, a cup less of Diet Coke a day was a win for them. Putting them on a cleanse, for example, would have been too aggressive for them. So you got to realize that if you're drinking, in this case, this lady was at 2 liters of Diet Coke a day. She was in a wheelchair when she came to see us. And after 45 days of being off of Diet Coke, guess who came in without the wheelchair? This lady.
Wow.
And so I've seen a very extreme, things happen. And it typically is, what you eat's important, but what you
Don't eat
is more important.
Oh my gosh, my mom is the worst.
I was going to say that when I think of Diet Coke now,
You think of
I'm thinking
Kurt's
my mom.
I think of Kurt's mom.
Oh my gosh, she funds Diet Coke's whole business. It's
Golly.
ridiculous. Like she's like, I can't. But she went through chemo, so she feels that she has to have Diet Coke to
keep her throat like hydrated and moist.
And
That's
I'm
the way
like,
she was saying it. I was like, I don't feel like that's hydrating.
But and think about that. So and again, I don't want to pick on your mom.
You can. I'm mad at her because last night she called me and apparently
you're mad. Like, don't call me mom. What do you think?
Yeah, she's like, well, she texted me and she's like, I just need 2 minutes. So I'm thinking it's an emergency, situation or somebody died. And she goes, so I watched this 2020 series about these like cults in the 70s. Please tell me you're not in a cult.
Oh my God.
And I was like, really? And she's like, well, you just never call me. And like the cults in the 70s were all about taking their children away from their moms. And I feel like you're doing, I'm like, Mom, I'm 30 years old. She was like crying. And I'm like,
but maybe that just means you need to call your mom and just reach out to her from time to time. I love you, Mom. Remember, next month in February is I Heart You. Maybe you could invite her to the I Heart You show. And so we could talk about warming up the hearts, and maybe we can do a bonding session for you guys.
I got a new voice from my mom. Are you in a cult?
So
you only ever call me when you're on the radio.
Or hey, maybe it's neurotoxins. So whenever you take in, like, chemo is a bunch of toxins. You know what I mean? And then you fire that off with artificial sugars like aspartame, which is more or less formaldehyde, or sucralose, which is that yellow stuff that people are sprinkling on their their fruit or in their tea or whatever, or the pink stuff, the saccharin. The saccharin is a very well-known cancer-causing agent, and when you put in these artificial sugars, you cannot expect to be healthy when you put this kind of stuff in your body. So that's one of our 4 deadly food additives. We haven't talked much about 4 deadly food additives lately, but let's maybe revisit those. And that's partially hydrogenated oil. So that's going to be your vegetable oils, your margarine, your canola oil, or what I like to call con oil. And and we need to get away from these types of things. Or cannoli in Curtland. And
it's a weird place there in Curtland.
Yeah, very few people come out of Curtland when they get
cult.
there.
We may say it's a cult.
So you got artificial sugars, you've got partially hydrogenated oil, you got MSG, monosodium glutamate. These are high potency preservatives and spices that are chemically altering the food, that are making you crave, that whole concept. I bet you can't eat just one. Well, they're chemically designed that way. And that's why they never lose their satisfaction. They always give you that fresh step, if you will, and you'll eat a whole bag of chips. And that's not healthy for us.
Oh, even plantain chips, I'm doing the whole bag.
Well, yeah, you got to be careful.
Why is that?
Well,
the salt.
Because it's the salt, and when you crave salt, that's an indication that you have not just liver, but it's adrenal. And so we've got to go after those adrenals of his.
That's why he needs the 10 hours of sleep.
Is there a reason why when I'm around sugar, I smell the sugar and really want it?
It's probably the bacterium in your body screaming, I want that, eat that. Like when he brought in those lifesavers.
The king cake.
Like the what?
The king cake that we had on Friday.
The king cake in studio sitting right. That's actually Kurt's forks and then
Oh my
napkins
gosh.
that are still
I didn't
here.
eat
So
it.
who brought y'all that?
Concetta from Maceo
Man,
Spice Company. She gave one away.
I'm pretty sure that made somebody's day.
Oh, great day. Not mine. I was struggling. I was like,
so you're looking at all those beautiful colors.
I prayed. I
but
said,
think about it.
Dear
look how
Jesus,
baby Jesus.
please protect me.
So and then the last 4 deadly food additive is high fructose corn syrup. So high fructose corn syrup will get you in trouble as well.
What is that in?
And so high fructose corn syrup is in everything. So if you look on the back of your gum right now, it's probably got high fructose corn syrup. If you look on the back of your soda pop that you're drinking, it's got high fructose corn syrup, unless it's got one of the artificial sugars. It's probably in those lifesavers. You should go get the label on that. And anything that you pick up, unfortunately, could have high fructose corn syrup in it, or what they are calling today is crystalline fructose is the new word for high fructose corn syrup. By the way, they did not let anybody know that they made that change. They just changed it to crystalline fructose because there's such a bad rap about high fructose corn syrup. They just said, we'll change the name.
Rebranding it.
Yep. And so when you see crystalline fructose on the back of the label, it's high fructose corn syrup, and it's new, tuxedo. And it's not a tuxedo. It is a deceit, and it's poison for us.
I think high fructose corn syrup is like just Diet Coke. Like you might as well just be drinking high fructose corn syrup at that point,
honestly,
right?
I mean, between the two, remember they're called the 4 deadly food additives, right? But if I was going to be forced to go with one or the other, I would go with the high fructose corn syrup.
Next time,
because the artificial sugars are so poisonous to the brain.
Next time on Choppa Talks, Dr. Choppa has to choose between Diet Dr. Pepper and
regular
high fructose corn syrup.
You know, earlier, whenever you were talking about the event Thursday at Butler's Courtyard, in my head, I wish we had more time and we could make like a WrestleMania type promo where it was like, and then like it introduces your friend and you look Choppa.
I know, I would love it. And then we had that, like somebody go, let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah, exactly.
Do the whole thing. And yeah, I mean, it would so be rad. I'd
next
love
year.
It.
You know, we were talking, Choppa, we went to the game on Saturday night against the Lakers, the Rockets versus the Lakers. First of all, great game.
Unbelievable game.
And we were talking because I made a post of all of the food that we have up, at the Rockets game where we had chicken and veggies, and we ate really, really clean that night, even though I ate like 8 chickens that night.
Entire chicken.
My first time I had meat in a long time, and I just like went to town. But I was thinking like the music before the game, it's like that. It's like really pumped and gets you hyped. We need some of that music at KHEA Radio.
You're a Rockets fan?
Absolutely, I'm a Rockets fan.
That's what he had told me.
I was at the World Championship games back in the 90s,
93, 94, 94, 95.
I got lucky enough to be a part of that whole series of games, those seasons, and it was absolutely an amazing experience for me. And my brother and I will never forget it. We had season tickets every year those years.
Wow.
And I mean, it just happened, man. And I love Rockets. I love watching those games. And that game that night was dynamo.
It was. So here's another comment and a question. This is from Leah as well. She said, where do you shop for food? We love Aldi. It makes shopping for dye-free easier. Have you been to Aldi?
So did she say it makes shopping for what?
I think she mean like she said dye-free, like dye-free foods and dye.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I love I've read a whole documentary on Aldi and how they built their whole market. I haven't shopped there. I typically go to H-E-B. I go to Whole Foods. Go to Natural Living. I go to Irma's Nutrition Store. And I support our local, grower people as much as I can. And then. So those are my main shopping spots. When I go into Aldi, I guess I haven't found, enough of the produce that I'm looking for, to satisfy like to drive there and then go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like I want to one-stop shop just because I'm busy these days.
Yeah, I went there one time. And I had never been before. My sister had swore up and down on them because she used to live in Pennsylvania, and they have them and they're popular up there. And so you have to like use a quarter, to get the basket. You put it back and all this stuff. And so my wife was it was too much of a change from like going to Target or Walmart. And she was like, what's going on here? Like what happened?
You have to walk in you can't walk to a certain aisle. You have to walk down every aisle. At least the one in Omaha
the way that they have it built really, the concept is amazing. They instead of having like 13 brands of toilet paper, they have like 2. And instead of they have very specific,
and it's a brand you never heard of before,
right? but it's probably
it's a natural, better option.
But it's probably a brand that doesn't have to have the big hype and the stuff that everybody's used to. That's been marketed so well. That's been marked up in the big box stores. So I'm not saying I just haven't figured out how to go to there and eat the way I want to eat.
Yeah,
because I really don't eat a lot of processed food at all. I literally am a produce kind of a guy. I eat meat and veggies. I want chicken, fish, turkey, eggs, and for my proteins and that sort of thing. So, like, I really lean towards real food.
Yep. My wife asked me. She said, "Does Dr. Choppa eat this way all the time? Do you think he never really has fast food?" I said, 100%. I feel like this is how he is all the time.
All the time. Like even if my kids get lucky enough to go to Chick-fil-A, I don't don't eat Chick-fil-A. I don't
Not even
want,
like a salad.
I don't even
from
want
there?
the salad. I mean, I don't. I mean, now if I was in a pickle,
Yeah.
I would. That would be a better choice for me, right? I mean, I
Right.
could probably get away with it, but I mean, I still can feel like some of the sugar and stuff that's in their food that I just don't want to risk it. Or if I get into something that's got bad oil, I don't like how it makes me feel, and so I'm kind of picky and gotten snobby about it. But I'm also on a quest and on a mission. I want to try to maximize this body as much as humanly possible, because I believe that we can live to be 125 fully functional in spirit, mind, and body. And it's just up to us to make those lifestyle choices and decisions. And not everybody wants that, and so I don't want or push on people my desire, but I do allow people to know that, hey, I know how to get to Oz.
This is how.
This is how. Follow me, and you might find that you get caught, at some point on the yellow brick road, but it's better than where you were, right? And so people have this idea that that they can't have that work life or that fun time diet and detox diet lifestyle, and you totally can. Like, I mean, I'm not restricted. I cheat from time to time, but I have places where I go where I like to cheat. And because I find that this is worth cheating on, and I don't crash as much. So I'm just picky about where I go, and it's not really much fun when my wife wants to go to a new place, new experience for date night, because I want to go to the same spot. But I can know the quality of food I'm going to get where I go.
That's cool.
And so, but I think it's finding what works for you.
Yeah, and this is, I think it's safe to say this is your life's work, the life's mission, and you believe it, stand by it, and it works.
And think about it, like how it'd be hard for people to follow me if they see me at McDonald's. I mean, I don't want to say a name, if they see me at fast food places, like when you're sitting there telling us not to do it, why would you? It'd be like,
right.
Going to a surgeon or a cardiovascular surgeon, they say, you really need to stop smoking. And then and then you see them in the back smoking. And I'm like, what? Like, that don't make no sense. And so I want to look the part. I want to live the part. I want to be every aspect that I need to be of an inspiration for you if you're 2 years old or if you're 92 years old.
And then also kind of goes in line with what we were talking about earlier, have kids or just people in general. You can tell them this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. But then they watch you to be that example. And then for us during this detox and cleanse, we have a huge support group where we're able to see, I'm able to see Curt do great. And I'm able to see you do great. Me.
And I would, if you guys would help me, what I would love is if so some of you guys might not be able to make it Thursday. You might have another commitment, but I want you to do whatever you need to do to try and be there at this event, because this event could very well be an amazing, answer to some of your prayers if you ask the right questions. And so maybe we could take, y'all can instant message us, hit us up on Facebook, email us at info@justlivewell.com, call our office at 281-554-8600, because we want your questions that you would like to ask me or Dr. Patrick Krepke on what does life look like after detox, or what does life look like, trying to get healthy, or where do we start, or what are patients, struggling with day in and day out that we have found like some simple answers to help you kind of get your health journey started. And so we would love it if we could get people to post, questions that they want answered, and we will make certain that those are in the queue, and we'll talk about them on Thursday evening. And it's at 6:30 at Butler's Courtyard in League City. It's right up the road from my office. My office is, come visit our website at justlivewell.com. We got some fantastic surveys. The surveys are designed to give you a health assessment of digestion, allergies, sleep, energy, and give you tools moving forward on how you can, take that next logical step in getting healthy, staying healthy, and being healthy one bite at a time.
I think Ethan really needs to be there on Thursday. He's looking like a not really healthy person.
Oh, is that because of the Hawaiian shirt?
I think so. But second, I was going to bring up on the Thursday night meetings are really important. I learned last week that I didn't know this, and I've always had a thing against receipts anyways. But apparently, if you touch a receipt, you automatically are like putting toxins in your body, according to the doctor that was there that night. And I've always said receipts are the biggest waste of money. Biggest waste of money for any business. Nobody saves those. They go in the trash.
That's right.
I don't even since online banking became a thing, we don't need receipts. Just
And-
throw them away.
so that
don't
thermal
even give them
paper,
anymore.
what they're finding is that it's releasing different toxins into your body within seconds on both left and right side of your body. It just goes to say that any foreign, we're surrounded.
I got like 3 receipts in my pocket right now.
Inundated. I knew.
You're
that's why
the
I had-
problem.
I was gonna say, I knew
I'm
there was something going on.
seeping out
I
over
feel
there.
it. No, I'm not that sensitive. Thank God.
The receipts.
It's killing me.
You should have kept the receipt. You have a
You guys
receipt
are
allergy,
awesome.
Kurt. If you would have had more receipts as a kid, maybe you'd be okay now. But now you're dying from
I think receipts are seriously the biggest waste of time and energy and money ever. I have all of what I need from my online banking.
0.
Zero.
Just
And then
zeros.
if I don't, like if I need to like take back something, I just be like, I had the
Please.
receipt somewhere, but I lost it. And they're like, okay,
This
it's
is a cool thing. Leah just said, "Hey, I just found out y'all have a new a female chiropractor at your office." Well, absolutely. Her name is Dr. Amber Sorsick. She's absolutely awesome. She's out of St. Louis. She's been out for about 5 years, working and doing things. Her husband's work brought her down here, and man, she's a fellow crunchy mom. Loves the concept of wellness, loves chiropractic, loves food. She worked with Standard Process, so she's seen how Standard Process works in petri dishes, which is really
Wow.
cool because I've seen over 13 years how Standard Process products work in humans, and it's absolutely fantastic. And guys, give us a call, 281-554-8600. We want to encourage everybody to be a part of what Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center is doing, because we are making strides to be your health and wellness resource. We want you to trust that we've got up-to-date information, that we are going to push you, hold you accountable. We're also going to be patient with you as well. You're never, ever, ever going to feel, condemned because you had a cheat day. That's not what life's about. Life's about balance, and life's
about the cheat life.
I don't know about that.
Oh.
But at the end of the day, it's about finding those points where you can enjoy the ride. And we want you guys to all enjoy the experience of getting well, staying well, and living well one bite at a time.
Was this Dash's old medicine toolbox?
Yeah, I grabbed it and because I was in a hurry this morning. And I was like, you know what? If you look on it, it says every day.
Yeah.
And those are things that I would want, my kids to take every day. And, I feel like my kids are really blessed. They don't even know because if you look at the stuff in there, I'm doing everything to maximize their growth potential, stimulate the pituitary gland, working on essential fatty acids, giving their brain, their body the tools they need, as they're gearing up for, the puberty years of life, working on strengthening the gut lining because they do get into things they shouldn't from time to time, making sure that their immune system's strong, they have adequate minerals in their body, stimulating the bone marrow to produce white blood cells, red blood cells, and to do the job it's supposed to do. And I think that's something that people don't realize. We all need tools in our toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
If all you have is Tylenol, you're going to take Tylenol. If all you have is ibuprofen, all you're going to take is that as a tool. And what I'm trying to get people to realize is that you're in more control of your health than you'll ever realize. So if you've got fevers, chills, if you've got, chronic head colds, most of the time that can be resolved without antibiotics. That can be resolved without steroids. That can be resolved. And we can go into the process of fixing these underlying issues very efficiently. Is it always a home run? No, man, we've lost some battles from time to time, but but the goal is just because we lose a battle doesn't mean we lose the war. And we always are working to give your body the tools to function well and live well without drugs and without surgery. That's my vision. That's what it's been all along, is we want to give people tools and resources to live well, be well, one bite at a time, and without drugs and surgery, so that they are the most best productive version of themselves every day of their life.
That's awesome. So it's 9:44 right now. This is KHEAradio.com, 99.5 FM. If you're watching on social media, feel free to share this video right now. Maybe you have somebody on your friends list. I guarantee you have somebody on your friends list who can benefit from this information. It may change their life forever. They come to the event on Thursday, ask a question, or they hear something from this video stream, and it changes their life. They're able to live, extra years pain-free without something they weren't born with. I'm excited about this detox as we come to a close and to finish strong and to keep it going, and I know Curt is as well, even talking about, hey, let's do another one at some point.
Yeah, I don't know if we can do one once a month, but I feel like even at least once a quarter for sure. Like doing it every 3 months, like let's do it. I'm convinced.
I don't know. You were pretty confident you could do it 12.
Oh, I can. I feel
the song
this
changes.
Is the easiest thing. I was so concerned because I struggled the first time.
Right.
The first time we did this, I really struggled, and I had cheat meals and I had cheat life taking place during the 21 days. I don't think I went through the whole 21 days.
But here's what that is a great conversation. Guys, don't expect to be perfect every part of every detox that you go through. I can't say I've been exactly 100% perfect 39 times. I would absolutely be, not telling the truth. But what I find is the consistency, your willingness to get back on that horse and to go tackle the next day, the next meal, and make a better choice going forward. Man, I absolutely would say, look at where it's brought you this time. This time you're saying it's the easiest. What do you think the next time's going to be?
Next time,
a breeze.
For probably since the last detox, I was like, oh yeah, my stomach is flat, but the L was silent. This time, for sure, my stomach is flat.
That's awesome.
Now we just need to get everything out the sides.
I feel great when I wake up in the morning. And I see what I look like in the mirror.
10 hours of sleep, roll out of bed.
10 hours of sleep. It's great. It feels awesome.
Well, I'm
haven't
glad.
slept 10 hours in 21 days or whatever.
Yeah, hey,
the worst.
I'll say this too. So, Monique's got a little conversation here about black seed oil and turmeric. It works great for inflammation and pain. And I couldn't agree with her more. We have a product in our office called Metaball that has black seed extract in it, as well as bitter melon. And it's fantastic for supporting blood sugar, supporting infection. Black seed extract is in every alternative remedy, cancer protocol that I've ever, worked with that I felt knew what they were talking about. Turmeric mixed with fenugreek makes the turmeric even more powerful in the body. Just for the record, people feel like it's the black pepper. You can't consume enough black pepper to get the turmeric to be a benefit. You want turmeric and fenugreek mixed together. We have stuff like that at our office, and it's fantastic for pain and inflammation. And guys, it really does come down to food. The more we take into consideration that what we put in our body could be causing our ailments or causing us to feel great. It starts with food. And I think the more we start adopting mindsets where we go through processes and fast away from the processed junk food like we've been doing for 21 days, or going through the process of targeting a system in the body. Like next month, we're going to target the heart, and we're going to try to get people to realize that, heart health is, your heart is the number one nutrient rich organ. It gets first dibs on everything, and you want it to be. Nobody wants a Charlie horse in their heart. They want it in their calf, trust me. And that's a check engine light that the mineral levels are low. And so we're going to be trying to talk to this idea of heart health and, vitality, throughout the month, next month, and getting people's mindset wrapped around that systems-based nutrition is where we could really overhaul every tissue, cell, organ, gland in the body. Like we rotate our tires. So you go to one store for that. You go get an oil change. You go to one store for that, or you do it yourself, or, however y'all roll. But here's the thing. Your body has systems too, and it all needs to be cleansed and worked through. And so it's not always about detox per se, because not everybody really understands that word. This detox that we put together is a 3-month protocol that you're getting result from in 21 days. And so it's 3 months worth of work in 21 days. I mean, who doesn't want to shortcut the process? We live in a microwave society. And that's why we built this thing, is we wanted people to have a tool that they could rapidly see shifts and changes. And so to the conversation of cancer, is this a good preventative? I think absolutely, that when we don't put junk in our body and we're cleansing and detoxing, your body will prevent ailments, cancers from developing more rapidly in our system.
So wait,
Curt just did quick math. He did 36 divided by 12 on his calculator on his phone. I don't know why. I'm sorry. That made me funny.
Okay, so I said if I did one detox every month this year, I would not have to do a diet for 3 years.
Wow.
Because I'd be like
Yeah,
3
I mean,
3 years of
in
work in a year.
In theory, but then you go. It depends on how off are you going to be, because guess what? Remember, did you ever see that movie, Super Size Me?
I've seen some of it.
There's
Yeah.
a documentary called Super Size Me. It came out many, many years ago, and it was about a guy who ate fast food for 30 days in a row, and it took him 3 months to get his health back. You know, it might have been 6, but I don't remember. But it was crazy. It depends on what you put it back in your body, because remember, what you eat is important, but what you
do eat
don't eat.
Don't eat.
So just
Man,
like
I thought you had it.
just like you do 3 months worth of work in 1 month, I feel like if you did it on the opposite, you could also do 3 months of damage in 1 month. If you are taking that focus and doing it the exact opposite, it would have that effect.
So we definitely have to clarify and hold you accountable to the yellow brick road.
After a year, if I did 12 detoxes this year.
I like your thinking, though.
So-
I really like your thinking.
One more thought, and then we're gonna get here to wrapping up, right? Like beef, I do miss, not to the point where I'm just like craving it, but I would enjoy eating like steak or beef, and like working that back into my diet. Like, how should I go about doing that? Do I do that? Like, what are your thoughts?
So right now, are you already taking in like fish, chicken, turkey, eggs? Have you brought some of those proteins back in?
100%.
All right, perfect. So make sure that at the close of the detox, so like day 22, not day 21, on day 22, try one of those gamey foods. Like go back over to Olympia Grill and get the gyro, and see how that tastes, and then wait. Go for about 3 days and see what you notice.
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice any? I don't know. Like you had mentioned one time, Curt, where you had some sinus stuff come back when you got into some protein or something. Well, what if you put that protein in and it causes something in your body? You go, what was that? It could be, gas. It could be bloating. It could be skin. It could be, allergy. And if you start to notice something that you haven't noticed in the last 21 days, you have to suspect that what you just put in there inflamed your body, and your body is giving you a check engine light.
But can your body get used to it again? Or
No, absolutely. It will. But you have to ask yourself, do you want it to get used to it? Because if you have it's like with this whole idea of me taking people off of dairy products, and then I turn people onto keto, and then they get excited because most people do keto with cheese. Well, I'm sorry, you did it wrong. That's not at all what I said. I said you do keto without dairy. Milk, cheese, yogurt, sour cream, ice cream, whey protein, they're not real foods anymore. They're pasteurized, adulterized. They're not clean. And so they're very inflammatory to our body. And so we've got to still remain off of the major allergens. And most people will do fine on the putting those proteins back in. But if you get like that brick feeling in your stomach, it might be something as simple as you need digestive enzymes, or you need stomach acid support. And we just have to use some enzymes and stomach acid supports to reacclimate your body to produce more enzymes or acids while you're putting some of these heavier proteins back in. But after being on a vacation for 21 days, your body should be able to acclimate and get right back to it. If you were eating it fine in the past, you will be able to eat it fine tomorrow most of the time, especially if it's a clean food. Now, what if it was, not a good clean version of that beef or whatever? Then maybe the preservatives that are in there are what's affecting you. Maybe it's not the meat. So you got to kind of consider a lot of factors, and that's why it's a little bit tricky. And that's why we want to help you track it. And that's why we go through the diet digestion basic steps in our office and teach people, what they're looking for in food and where they can start this journey.
Yeah. Kurt's looking at pictures of desserts on his phone over here.
We never said anything about dessert, Curt.
He's looking for that non-dairy, non-sugar dessert.
I'm pretty sure that whatever that was will not do your head well.
The one thing that I struggled with is I went to the Chocolate Mountain Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory.
You went to a chocolate factory.
Yeah, Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory.
Wonka style.
Yeah, I went down there because I had a foreign exchange student that I was kind of showing around Galveston.
So he just automatically went to the chocolate factory.
I was like, we got to go to the chocolate factory. Load them up on some sugars.
Absolutely. Is that the one that has like the freshly squeezed lemonade and they make the taffy?
No, that's I think, what is that?
That's on the Strand.
Yeah, that's another one. It's close. Yeah. It's close.
Well, but this one, so I actually walked in and I said, is there anything that I can have? And they're like, no. There's nothing. And so I was like,
No.
oh man.
You kind of get emo. You get emo
I'm like,
like
oh,
in those
man.
situations.
But I feel like I leveled up because I didn't eat anything.
Well, I think you
walked-
leveled up. That's no doubt.
I even
will
went into a
celebrate.
beef jerky store and didn't eat anything.
Hey, I had some. Well, I don't know how they prepare it, but I had some turkey jerky from Bucky's.
And was it amazing?
It was delicious.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing: at the end of the day, assuming that they're not putting MSG and preservatives that are harmful to your system, I mean, ideally, it's protein. That's good. Go for it.
Yeah, turkey jerky was good. It was so driving back from San Antonio, back to here to Houston, stopped at Bucky's. I got a Perrier, some mineral water, and I got some turkey jerky, and I was good to go. Good to have something to eat. Plus, I was hungry. It was lunchtime, and that was pretty much my lunch.
And that gives you that little sparkly feel down the back of your throat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, we're coming to a close. I just want to tell everybody, my name is Dr. Aaron Chapa. We are in League City, Texas, Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center. We're so proud to help people live well, be well, and stay well one bite at a time. We believe all life starts and stops at the cellular level, and nutrition is the fundamental backbone that allows your body to spiral out of control or to get traction and to start living the life you've always been supposed to live. That's full of energy, full of vibrance, symptom-free, and go time every day as you're called to. We want everybody to know that we care about you and your health. We want to hear your story. Give us a call, 281-554-8600. We'd love to get you scheduled to see Jennifer, myself, Dr. Amber, and let's see where we can take your health going forward. And know that my office is equipped with clinicians that can help you live the best life possible. And so we want to encourage everybody to come on over, let us know how we can serve you best, give us a little insight to where you've been and what you've been going through. And I bet you we'll have an answer on how to pull you through the weeds sometimes, or pull you out of the mud when you're full of symptoms and symptoms and symptoms and symptoms. We had a lady yesterday it was pretty intense, and but people come in all the time really sick, and we've got answers. And we do not use drugs and do not use surgery, and we just know beyond a shadow of a doubt, if you stick with it long enough and you follow through the recommendations to the best of your ability, you will not find anything that will help you as much. So God bless you all. Once again, our website's justlivewell.com. Y'all have a great afternoon.
Dr. Chapa, I want to make sure, I know you're very busy, but after the show today at this time, I want you to come back and watch the rest of this interview. This is with Harold Jackson. He has a local gym called Heavenly Bodies. He has a great story. We've heard of a little bit of it before, but I think that you're going to find it interesting.
Oh, I'll be tuning in as soon as I jump in the car.
Harold Jackson was actually in a wheelchair back when he was in 1920 years old, and now went on to be a body lifter, professional body lifter,
aerobics instructor, and he also is a world champion whenever it comes to aerobics, fitness, and he has daughters that are vegan, and he has his diet that he goes by, and they're trying to pull him over, but he sees the benefits and of the diet, the exercise, and just living that spirit.
And
body,
it absolutely
mind.
does. And you just to say, so here's the deal, guys. I mean, we're structural beings, we're chemical beings, we're emotional beings, and all of that affects our spirit life. And so if the dude don't move, the dude don't groove. So please, for sure, understand and know beyond a shadow of a doubt that if you're not moving out there, guys, you're not going to ever be fully grooving. And so I want to encourage everybody, definitely tune in. This sounds like an amazing, amazing story. So God bless all of you guys. This is Dr. Chapa signing out.
Coming up next is Bright Work on KHEA. Solion, no, you're not the only one. Sorry. Hey, we are excited. We kept talking, Solion. I'm sorry about that. I must have hit the button off. My apology. Ethan,
Solion,
let's see
open till
this.
6.
Ethan, did you bring this? Where'd you get this from?
I found it on the sidewalk.
Oh!
Why are y'all scared of a little roach? He's just a little pet.
His name is Melvin.
His name is Little Curt Jr.
You found that on the side of a road and you picked it up and put it in your car and now you carry it around?
We found it in San Antonio.
It's Curt.
Oh.
Curt Jr. He looks just like you.
His name is Melvin.
Ugh, why did it move? Stop! Get that thing out of here! Oh,
It's fake.
it's fake. You guys. We should find a way to like.
Hey,
This-
good morning, sir.
Good to see you too.
You doing good
How
today?
you doing, sir? Good to see you too.
Right. So yeah, you can get situated and
That thing.
just talking in here. We usually talk about, just like close to there, but you can move that a little bit and try and get it situated where you want it.
Okay.
So we're excited to have you in today. We're excited to be talking about everything, and we dropped that video showcasing
I saw the video. It's nice.
a little bit of
Beautiful.
everything,
I like
huh?
that. I like that.
So that was fun to be a part of that. The only thing that was not fun was what happened to the camera.
Right.
Whenever Curt, I think he got
Rest in
really
peace.
inspired by the music or something.
Oh, we watched it. So apparently, I was recording at the
Did
time
you-
of the drop.
He tell you what he did?
Oh.
This dude is like recording. He's walking around, turns, and just like throws the camera across the
It
floor.
was not
So
even
you
a
do
throw. It was a drop. It dropped. So it's
He
not.
does.
I'm
You can- yeah, wait.
definitely not. Oh, we watched the video of it dropping and just hearing like the shattered pieces like broke my heart.
Hey, the sound is back, right? Because I had disenabled something and I re-enabled it. So hopefully y'all can hear us again now. But
I
Yeah.
think they can because they heard he said Curt Jr. about the.
Oh.
So how's the camera?
It's
Is it-
still broken.
Still broken.
We gotta send it down and get repaired. But it's,
it works, but
oh,
it takes away a lot of its usability because the part that came off was the part. So you can put your eye up to see where the shot is,
Right.
but then there's the little screen that you could like angle up, so you could use it down here, bring it up there, and angle the monitor. It's a little monitor, and so Curt just kind of was like threw it.
You say through it.
Side broke off, and I was just
oh yeah.
standing there.
I just wanted to throw a $3,000, $4,000 camera.
It
you
just
know?
had a leap of faith. and
just leap of faith, just threw something. Yeah.
I hope you wanted to throw up after, and then y'all were like, "Is everything okay?" And I'm just like, "There's that meme," and I told you about this. There's a cartoon dog in a house, and it's on fire, and he's like, "Oh yeah, everything is fine. Everything is just fine." Nothing else. So you got to play cool, just like, "Is everything go?" Oh
Man.
yeah, maybe it's fine. But we had another camera there, so we knew we'd be able to get all the
Excellent.
shots. But the camera works. We just got to get that part
But
replaced.
replace that. Man.
Reply to a comment.
Yeah. So, okay, we're going to talk for a little bit and just ask you some questions, just get comfortable, and then we'll go on the FM as well. So right now we are streaming on Facebook, we're streaming on our YouTube,
Okay.
and then we'll stream on the FM and our website as well once we switch it over. A couple
Awesome.
songs we'll play. So, were you had listened to a little Dr.
I did,
Chop
I
out
did.
there?
Awesome.
So yeah, he's in League City. He's really he's been doing this for 13 years, mainly healing people through nutrition, changing your diet,
Right.
eliminating stuff out that are making your body get, inflamed.
I
or
told him I was going to
sick.
get with him. Definitely. I like a lot of what I heard. Yes.
So we're doing a detox and a different diet right now. So this is our second one that we've done with him. We did one in August. We're not allowed to have mints. No
Not
sugar.
allowed to have
no
mints,
sugar.
but if I smell
No
it,
sugar.
if I smell it, automatically I feel it in my mouth.
Well, that's better, I guess.
He said,
Does it?
"Oh."
No, it doesn't work that way.
Dang.
It doesn't work that way. Yeah.
So you have an interesting story, and we're gonna touch on that when we go over the FM. But
Okay.
for people who are listening on our Facebook page, how can people find Heavenly Bodies?
Heavenly Bodies is located in Lamarck, Texas, with 1317 First Street, across the street from the police station and next door to the feed store.
Mm-hmm. which
and-
is next to Benito's.
which is down the street from
Talk
Benito's. Exactly.
about Benito's while we're on this cleanse.
And of
Someone
course,
will go crazy and go eat Benito's.
Benito's. Huh?
Do you go there for lunch? At all?
I've gone there.
It's good, huh?
It is
I
delicious.
love the people, the owners too. They're great people that have been there for a long time.
Yes, they have.
Serving Lamarck. Yeah, cool. So located in downtown Lamarck, and you've been there for, is it 3 years?
It's 3 years in that particular location.
location.
I had to go back, and I've been in the area almost 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
but I've gotten so lost in time. Just working, time flies by.
It does.
And that's a cool location. Was it a gym before?
It was a daycare, and before that, it was a beauty barber college.
Oh.
It kind of feels like.
I'm trying to think if I remember.
If you notice all the sinks that are still there,
Yeah.
those are hair stations.
Yeah, because I grew up down the street. I grew up in Lamarck, not too far from there, and so, I mean, I remember all the the little shops and everything that were there.
Okay.
But I think I do remember there being maybe a barber college.
It was there a few years back.
Yeah.
Gardy grew up in Lamarck, so he
Okay.
knew that area.
Yep. Me and my friends walking the streets.
So you're native to Lamarck.
Well, I moved to Lamarck when I was 10.
Okay.
So for the most part, I was 10 years. I'm 32 now, but my parents still live in Lamarck. In the house where I grew up, and not too far. Several miles. Down the street.
Okay.
Yeah, but I love Lamarck, and I'm glad to see that downtown and what the city is doing, and they're bringing in these businesses like yourself.
Exactly.
And then coffee shop, restaurants, and it's really cool to see and be a part of.
The growth is
Yeah.
growing.
Yeah, definitely. So you've been there for 3 years, and why did you feel like you wanted to be in Lamarck? Because you've traveled the world.
I've traveled there, and I tell people I got to Lamarck in a dream. I had a dream, and it's like move to Lamarck,
Yes.
and I'm like Lamarck. I passed through Lamarck. My business was in Galveston for years, and I guess over 20 years I was in Galveston, and then I went to Texas City and ended up in Lamarck.
Mm-hmm.
And in the dream it says Lamarck shall be called the great city of Lamarck again. I'm like, again, really? And so I began to do some history and to kind of find out a little bit more about it.
Yeah. Lamarck, it has here recently started to grow. Like there's all as the growth is moving down. From Baybrook Mall and
Right.
League City is booming, and now all of this area is kind of moving down. So I guess West Lamarck, which is where we're at, there's still a lot of developed land. It's right
Exactly.
up on 45, and then also they're trying to get the downtown, that growth as well.
Yes.
And they've been attracting new businesses, and you can see the construction going on. If you're listening or watching right now, you need to go check it out and see what's going on over there, because it is. You'll probably be shocked. Like if you look now and then you look even a couple months from now, and then within a year, like how different it's going to be. It's going to be really, really cool to be like, wow, I remember when it didn't look that way. And then in a couple months, it's totally different. So I was looking at property. I was like, I need to see what downtown Lamarck. I see what's happening.
It's growing
If I could
fast.
just buy some stuff over around here, or at least like get in on something, I feel like that would make sense as an investment.
You should if you did that, you tear down the building and make something, do a business there or something. So
Well-
then you get not only do you get the land, but then you get clientele. I feel like a shop.
A zone. I was just thinking, I don't know what the zoning is like there and like all that, but I don't know. Interesting stuff. But yeah, Mayor Bobby Hawking, I've known him for years as
Okay.
well, and he's done some pretty cool stuff for the city. And you had met Colleen.
I've met Colleen. Right,
Yeah, Colleen. She's really cool too, and been big supporters of us here at KHEA, and helped introduce us to people like
Yes,
you.
introduced me to you guys.
Yeah. So we love what the city of Lamarck is doing, and it will continue to do. So let's see. We got 18 seconds, and we'll go on the FM, and we'll get into this.
Okay.
If y'all have any questions, let us know. Let us know. What are you guys up to today? What do you guys have going on? Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
And we have a special guest in studio. We had a guest as well at 8:30 to about 10 o'clock. Now we had Dr. Chop in talking about everything health, nutrition, and how we can fix our bodies through nutrition and just living a better, healthy life. Right now, we're going to keep it going, talking about fitness, talking about being well, getting well, healing your body and your mind and everything else in between. So we have Harold Jackson. Mr. Jackson, how are you doing today?
All is well. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. So we recently took a visit to your location, which if you can tell us what the name of your business is and where you're located at.
The name of my business is Harold Jackson's Heavenly Bodies, and we're located in downtown Lamarck.
Yeah, downtown Lamarck. That's right next to the feed store.
Correct?
You know, we went into the feed store one time, and they you know, they're awesome. They've been there for years. My wife, she grew up in Lamarck too. She said she remembers going and getting their cat food and some pet stuff there. They've just been serving the community in Lamarck for a long time. So we asked, do y'all have any, this was in the summer, or it was a peak mosquito season. Do y'all have anything that will kill mosquitoes? And so they showed us, and we had made a video, and a lot of people were like, I'm going to go get some of that stuff. I'm going to go get some of that stuff, because they were so bad at the time. But
yes,
you know, that's stuff you don't think of that you can't necessarily get like at Target or at Walmart or CVS, where somebody's going to go and get off and some other stuff. They have a different grade of product there that people just, you don't think about. Like, hey, let me go to the feed store. Yeah, let me kill all these mosquitoes. So it was cool.
They were bad too.
Yes, we love downtown Lamarck. We love Lamarck in general, and we just want to hear a bit of your story. So Heavenly Bodies is in downtown. Can you kind of share, how did you end up in Lamarck? Where were you at before?
I was in Galveston for about 15, 20.
Talk about your story. Age of 12, you start training, but then you told us about age 18 or so.
Yes.
What happened? Walk me
My
through
life
that.
changed at the age of 18. I graduated high school. I went to Rice Aviation, which is across from Hobby Airport on Brisbane. I walked to my car one day and had a seizure. I came to, I found out when I came to, I'd been in a semi-coma for almost half a month. Didn't have any use of my limbs, didn't know what really happened. So my aviation career came to a halt, and my music career, because I was in high school, I played in the band, played saxophone, and did kickboxing. So all of that basically came to a halt. And so what I discovered when I came to, I had a seizure. They say you have epilepsy. So they gave me medications for epilepsy. Everything subsided for a little bit, and then I had another major seizure, and I said, no, that's not, the medicine's not working. You're now labeled, I'm bipolar. So I took medicine for that. The next thing I'm labeled is paranoid schizophrenic. So at the age of 18, my entire life is on hold. I'm in a hospital, and I'm taking medicines for 3 different things. 30, 40 different pills per day I'm taking. And so just to fast forward through that, in 1984, I became a patient of TRIMS, which is the Texas Research Institute for Mental Sciences. Well, they told my mother to put me in a rest home and live her young life because there's nothing they can do with me. So I had about probably 20, 30 neurologists and a lot of doctors who was like, we don't know what's going on. They could never find out what caused the seizure, why I had the seizure. But I was taking all these different medicines, and it was literally destroying my life.
So they were medicating you, but they didn't even really know what they were trying to treat.
Exactly. So the biggest thing was to keep me sedated. I remember taking a medicine at 8 o'clock one night and not waking up to 8 o'clock the next night. So if they kept me sedated, I wasn't having the, just constant seizure after seizure, which was really just a nightmare.
Wow. And they still don't know what caused that. Whenever you were 18 years old, they said, oh, you have epilepsy, bipolar, and schizophrenic, everything else. And these are just diagnoses they were giving, but they didn't really know.
They never gave me a diagnosis. We're medicating things just with medicine, which led from one side effect to another side effect. One of the medicines I took, it stopped my white cell blood count from working, which created another problem. But every medicine I took had a side effect, which left me worse than the one before.
Right.
I remember asking one, I said, how should this medicine I'm taking, how should it make me feel? We really don't know. You have to tell us how you feel when you take it. That's not working.
Right.
So
that put a halt on your, music, that put a halt on fitness. And these are things that they were your passion, right?
They were.
And so, how did you deal with that?
My mother had to get permission from the state. I was awarded custody of the state in 84. And she had to get permission to take me home. She says, let me just pull my son out of the hospital. Let me take him home and work. See if I can work with him.
Why were you just because of the seizures?
Well, the seizures had led to other things, because now we're dealing with epilepsy, but then the medication, I'm dealing with bipolarism, which is now paranoid schizophrenic, which we really believe these things were caused because all the medicines that I was taking.
The effects of the medicine, they didn't know what they were treating. And so it
Exactly.
made you have symptoms, and they were saying, oh, well, no, he has this, and then
Exactly.
we better take him because we know what's best.
Exactly. Well, at that point too, I wasn't confined to a chair, but I would have a seizure, and it's some days I can get up and walk around. Some days I would be in that state for weeks.
Wow.
My hand began to, curl back. My feet was curled under. And so, I'm bedridden at that point. And so I have people waiting and taking care of me.
So then your mom, begs and pleads and says, no, I need to take him home.
Exactly.
I'm going to do what I think is best as his mother.
And what she would tell me, she says, I just don't believe that this is the condition my son's going to be in. God has too much for his life.
How long did that go on for? The seizures and being bedridden and
Before
stuff?
you got out?
Yeah.
About 4 years, on and off about 4
Wow,
years,
so-
from 81 to about 84 to be exact.
So about 20 till you were about 22. Most people are going to college.
Exactly.
You would have been finishing up, but you're going through this part of your life.
That was a difficult part, I think, too, with all the things going on, because all of my friends are going to, they're going to college and I'm in the hospital. All the things I was doing active, I'm not able to do, which brought on other things, which is like depression. You become depressed because someone's waiting to change your diaper, and that's very, very humbling to have to do that when you're as active as I have been. And so, I had all these nurses had to wait to take care of me, and it's not a lot I could do for myself.
Wow. So you're 22 years old, and at that point, your mom, works it out where they say, okay, you can go. And so are you you get wheeled out? Are you still bedridden?
I'm wheeled out, and she takes me home again to work with me. And what's so funny is, I wasn't confined to a chair. I tell people that. It's just I couldn't use my limbs due to the medication they had me on. But one, I would be so drowsy. I think that's why I don't really sleep much now, because I stayed high for almost 4 years.
Wow. They kept you constantly
They
medicated.
kept me. I was medicated. I was a medicated junkie.
So whenever you get to the house, you're with your mom and she starts taking care of you. What kind of things did she do? Like, how did she get
She
you?
began to first wean me off of some of the medication, because at one point I stopped cold turkey, and not a good idea.
Right.
It landed me back in the hospital, because I'm addicted to some of the things that I was taking. So I had to slowly be weaned off of those medications, which was causing me all kinds of problems.
Do you ever look back and be like angry about what took place and how that? Because you probably you could have had
Could have been treated a different way.
better.
Right.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
Is that the right way to
Exactly.
say that?
And I think as I look now, and I work with some epilepsy foundations, they didn't know a lot about what was going on in 81. Back in that age, at that time, they didn't know a lot about how to really treat things, what other new medicines was out, because they were still giving people shock treatment when I was in the hospital.
Wow.
So that's, people would come in and shock treatment and they not leave out if they ever get out.
So man, yeah, that's crazy, because you hear that now and it almost sounds like barbaric, like that,
Right.
It's like torture. Like, why would you want to shock someone? This is what you should do to people, like an animal, or so. I don't even know. I can't think of a good situation, but I guess that's just what at the time, obviously, medicine advances and studies show
Exactly.
like, hey, maybe this isn't the best way to do this. So your mom, she starts weaning you off the medicine,
Exactly.
and then you slowly start to regain use of your arms, or how
I
your
did.
legs?
It was the legs. I slowly, because of the fact she made me do things. I was basically at that point giving up. At one point I was literally suicidal. And so I did things that, I tried to overdose on some medicine at one point, because I'm like, let me I'm tired of living like this. I'm 18, 19 years of age.
yeah.
I'm just tired of existing like this. And all of my friends are finishing school and I'm stuck here. And so, when she discovered, that I was the will of me, I had will to give up mentally. And she says, Harold, how do you try to take your own life? You didn't, God gave you life. You didn't give yourself life. How can you take a life you didn't give yourself?
Mhm.
And so that type of talking to me woke me up. It began to make me think about the things she was saying. She says, I believe in you. You can do this. I know there's strength within you. And so, I tell people sometimes it's when you can't encourage yourself, you need others around you to encourage you.
Yeah, just hearing that positivity, even today, you hear a lot of negativity. You turn on the news and you
Exactly.
see social media feeds that aren't speaking always best into you, but that stuff really has a huge effect on your
It
life.
helped me greatly. Helped me.
Yeah, you need to surround yourself with people that are speaking life.
Yes.
Speaking, positivity, helping give you goals. They always say, look at the people around you, and that's what you're gonna find. That's what you end up turning into.
Exactly.
So you end up getting weaned off the medicine, able to use your and walk us through that journey. Like, how did that happen?
It was what I call, that's the stage of tough love. So because I'm weaned off the medication, there are things that I'm thinking I can't do because I was not doing it in the moment. I mean, I would stand up sometimes, I would fall. I'm like, this is not going to work. And this is what I'm telling myself because I'm still yet believing the diagnosis that I was given. I suffer from depression. I suffer from this. And so as I learn now, depressed is not who I am. It's something that I'm experiencing. And so I tell people a lot of times that, we all experience, mental problems. It becomes an illness when one is over exaggerated. And at that stage in my mind, I had really over exaggerated a lot of the thinking capacity of what I was labeled. And those labels did limit me because they say, I can't do that because I have epilepsy. I can't do that because of this. And so the genesis of most negative tapes start with someone else. They plant them. And you know what? We play them back in our head over and over again. And I had begun to play those tapes that was, planted in my mind over and over again that I could not do this because of this and that and the other.
Wow, it's 10:21 right now. This is KHEAradio.com. We're speaking to Harold Jackson from Harold Jackson's Heavenly Bodies, located in downtown Lamarck. We dropped a video yesterday. If you haven't seen it, feel free to go check it out. Share that video and learn a lot about everything they have to offer over there in downtown Lamarck. So it's around 1984. You're out. Your mother is giving you that tough love.
Yes.
How do you get from that point to becoming a champion in what you do?
Well, what I did was she made me begin to do some things for myself. I mean, literally. I remember one morning, I tell this story often. I said, she came, she says, Harold, it's time to get up, breakfast is served. I said, Mom, I can't get out of the bed. My legs are just not feeling right. I can't do it. She says, okay. So then she left me there. So she said, Harold, lunch is ready. You need to get to the table, get something to eat. I'm like, I can't get out. My legs are not doing right. She says, all right. So then that evening, Harold, dinner is ready. And I didn't want to move. I said, I'm not going to do this. I mean, I wanted her to give. And so the next morning I smelled breakfast and I literally rolled out of the bed and I crawled to the table. She says, now I'll help you. I was water by my bed. I could get the water and drink, but I didn't want to do anything. I got to the state of mind that I could not. And I didn't want to even help myself at that point. And so that was the tough love she taught me. And so when I got to the table, she says, now I'll help you. And she began to just really give me the positive input that I needed. You can do this, just biblical verses that she gave me to strengthen my mind. Because, I tell people daily, the body is a servant of the mind. And so if the mind is okay, the body, the body's going to follow that mind. And at that point, mine was not where it needed to be. So I needed her to assist me with that. So she did. And she began to get me up and began to walk around. I fell, but I got back up. She says, get up, let's go again. She would take me out and, I didn't want to get out because I was embarrassed because, again, I was still having seizures sometimes. So I didn't want to go a lot of places because I didn't want to embarrass people or family or friends because, I fall and have a seizure in the mall if I'm out there or in a restaurant. I didn't want to go out. So it actually kept me secluded for a lot of my life. I think I went to my first nightclub in my 30s. Because of having seizures. I didn't want to embarrass my friends or family. So, again, with her, I credit everything to Mom because of just, again, how she worked with me, very, very instrumental with that. And so I saw an ad in the paper one day. I'd been around the house, for some months. And I said, this is a job for an exercise instructor. I think I can do that. She says, oh, okay. So she dismissed it. She said, well, I think, you need to just focus on doing X, Y, and Z. Because in between that time, I had gotten better. I did apply for another job as a UT in the security guard in the medical center. So I got that job doing fine. My medicines was doing okay because I was still taking some, not completely off, and everything was going well. And another seizure. So I'm starting all over again. I'm like, wow. So every time it appears that I would get a job, I would get sick again. So when I came back to the fitness thing with her, she's like, I think you need to just leave it alone.
Right.
Because I'm, it's like she's tired of seeing me get hurt. I say, I think I can do this fitness thing. It's, it's a exercise job. It's only $6 an hour, but I want to do it. She said, that's how many hours? I say, well, I think it says in the paper, this means 2 hours a week. So I went and I applied for it, and they heard my background of where I come from, martial arts, had me do a few moves and says, you can start the next morning with what you showed us. So I started that job. My first class was at 6 a.m. in the morning. And I'm thinking no one's going to be there. It was about 45, 50 people.
Wow, that's a big class.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they say, well, who are you? I said, I'm Harold Jackson. You're the new one? So yeah, we run through instructors like the water around here. like, whoa. So, I'm like, these people are really gung ho. And I use a lot of the exercise I'd done in the martial arts. That background helped me to do what I did. And they liked the style that I taught. It became popular. And that's how I got started in the fitness industry.
Wow.
And is that when it shifted for you? What was that shift where it's like, I'm not going to have seizures anymore? Because do you still, like, is it still?
I've not had a seizure in over 40 years now.
Wow.
30 something years to be exact.
So you started teaching martial arts. That's the first job in the fitness industry. Are you still taking that medication at the time, or you like when did you
I'm
decide to stop?
I'm still taking some medicines, slowly weaning myself off of those medications.
Yeah.
And I tell people, I tried to stop cold turkey, and you get yourself in a lot of trouble.
Wow.
Because you have to wean yourself off these things that they have you on. Your body goes into shock.
Yeah.
And my body did.
So you're teaching martial arts. I'm guessing,
and it's an aerobic class. What I taught was the type of martial arts conditioning training that we did for the actual martial arts itself. So I'm teaching an aerobic class.
Okay, so it's the aerobics, but it
Yes.
has like the kicks and the cardio and everything
way
else.
before the other stuff came out.
We won't say that name, but I know what you're talking about,
Exactly.
Mr. Billy. But yeah,
Yes.
No, that's cool. That's cool. And so back into fitness, having that spin on it, and it's fun.
Right.
It's fun. And I'm guessing like coming out of not using your limbs at all, learning to use your legs. How did you get back into shape though? Did you have to kind of like work yourself into shape in that class?
I did.
too?
And what I teach right now, the biggest thing that I had to go through was the balance. So that's why I really focus on people now with teaching balance. As I see seniors get older, they lose flexibility, they lose the range of motion and balance. So I focus a lot for that reason with my classes on core strength and balance.
Mm-hmm.
We do a lot of that. So I had to do a lot of things in the bed. I learned how to work my abs lying down. I learned how to do, work my body out of the laying down, sitting down. I do chair exercises right now with advanced people. And they're amazed at the workout we do sitting down. They think it's for seniors. I'm like, no, you can get a full-fledged workout sitting in a chair.
I remember watching that. It was Sit and Be Fit. I
Yes,
remember being a
Sit and
kid
Be Fit.
in my grandma's house, and sometimes there, and I'm like, I'll do this, and that's good because you always need to keep that. You use it or you'll lose it.
You'll lose it, exactly.
And that's one of my goals is whenever I'm up in age, 150 years old one day, right? I want to still be able to drive my car, like walk out there, the groceries and everything. And I always tell that to my wife. She's like, well, why do you go to the gym and do the cardio and just, I'm like, well, hopefully I'm using it, not doing anything crazy extreme, but if I take care of what I have, then hopefully it'll be like a car. You take care of a car, it'll run later.
Exercise is good medicine.
Mhm.
It's what really helped me. And I'll tell you the one thing that helped a lot for me was when I was taking the medications, I began to feel how it had my body mentally. And so when I started to exercise, my body was releasing the endorphins that gave me a sensation of a certain high that I had on some of the medications. So I said, let me attribute this more than taking this particular medicine. The exercise is replacing this. So it was really, it cleared my head out. It relaxed me more. And I wasn't as depressed as much because of the exercise.
Okay, so you got that first job. You're doing aerobics with your martial arts background. How do you get from there to being an aerobic champion?
Well, I got that job, and then I decided. I asked I had an exercise physiologist I work with. I said, "Well, don't I need to be certified?" She says, "I got you covered. You're working on the X, Y, and Z with me, so just teach this protocol here." So I said, "I think I need more." So I went in. I got certified. I became a certified aerobic instructor, not just through the club, but on my own. And when I did that, I began to branch out to other clubs because I had a very, very big class. My following was picking up. People was liking what I was doing in Houston. And at that point, there was a team that was going around looking to replace a young lady on their team. They were national fitness champions. It was the Crystalite Aerobic Championship at the time, which was aired on television, ESPN. And so they were going around looking for someone to replace this young lady because she was pregnant. And so they came in, they saw my class, they told me who they were, they saw my class, and it's like, we'd like to, we're just interviewing people for this position. I'm like, okay. And so they watched the class, they enjoyed it, and they called me back and said, we'd like to have you join our team. I'm like, what? I said, yeah. And so I didn't immediately because I was hesitant because, again, I was still taking some medication, and I was, well, they've already placed like second in the nation, and I don't want to be the downfall. Fear sets in, fear. It set in because I'm like, what I'm going through to cause their team to possibly not win or what have you not. So I was afraid. So my mother and I sat down and talked. She says, Harold, you need to consider that. That may get you further on. I think you can do it. Go for it. She says, because you're not on that much medication anymore. We're weaning more and more off. I think you should go for it. And I did. So I went for that. That team asked me to join. I said, okay. And that's where I started. The practices begin every day, Monday through Sunday, for hours at a time.
Yeah. How much work is that?
It's a lot of work. And, the thing is with the aerobic championship, we're tested on flexibility, balance, strength, and aerobic dance. It's a dance routine, which means you got to have some rhythm as well.
Yeah.
And be able to be flexible and strong. So it's a complete thing. It was a very, very difficult thing to do because it wasn't just one element. It wasn't like just strength training in itself. You had to use the flexibility, the coordination, the rhythmic and dance and what have you not. So I joined that team and we won our region. And from winning that region, we went to nationals.
Whenever you started training, did you know that there were aerobics championships, or is that something you learned later? Like how long before you realized? Wow,
I didn't know that it really exists. I'd heard it when they mentioned. I heard about it then. I'd seen it flash across TV, but I didn't pay any mind. So I didn't know what it was and what it really in detail.
That's cool.
What does that consist of? What are you like to compete at that level? What are you doing
against other teams and stuff?
Yeah, there's against their teams, their individual male, female, mixed pairs, and of course there's teams. And I started with a team.
So what are you doing like in that aerobics? Like what are you competing in? Like what are they judging? What are you doing?
Well, they're judging on, again, there are compulsories. We had compulsory high leg kicks, push-ups, sit-ups. And there's one more I'm missing. Oh, with the tone soap, there were lunges. So they judge you on form. They judge you on synchronicity. You judge on the overall routine as well.
So what, you have to do push-ups together?
It's part of the routine, yeah.
Part of the routine.
Man.
Yeah, there are compulsories you must do within each routine. And those are some of the compulsory exercises we had to complete.
And then each routine would be different. So like all the teams, okay, these are the things you need to hit, work it in a creative way that looks good. Y'all look good, in sync, and we'll see who does it the best.
Is there, so forgive me if this is a bad analogy. Is it almost like cheerleading, but it's not, right?
It is very, very close.
Very close.
A lot of the people who compete were former cheerleaders or gymnasts.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you get to pick the music and stuff?
You pick your music and you pick something that you like because you're going to have it a year if you win.
So I edited the video that dropped yesterday about heavenly bodies, and I will say this: when you guys were when you guys were doing your workout, you had a set song that kept playing, like, and it was like almost rhythmic in a way, right?
Right.
And I was like, and it really threw me off because I'm trying to find music that matches it, and I'm like,
where do I find this song?
I'm like, where do I find this song? Can I get this exact one? Because it was kind of cool.
That was called tribal beats, and I use those kind of beats a lot of times because there are people who go through different things like dementia. Let's say, for example, if I'm training guys who are in construction, we do ballet types things. I take ladies who've done secretarial ballet type things and we change their workout. We change that grid, if you will. We completely diversify mentally in what they're doing.
Why would you want to do that? Like what you mentioned, like the mental part of it, can you share a little bit of why is it important to diversify?
And you want to diversify because if you get used to doing the same thing over and over again, your body gets used to it. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to challenge you. I tell people if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. So you need things to challenge you in order for you to be able to grow and change.
Something else that you had said in that video that we dropped yesterday, you were talking about, mentally, and you had mentioned something in that class. I'm going to butcher it, but you had said people ask, hey, can you make me, lose weight or something like that? And you had a whole mental, aspect. I can't make you lose weight.
Right. But people ask two things. They tell me, they say, can you help me lose weight?
Yeah.
And I say, I can't help you lose weight. I can help you release the weight. And so I look at that mental aspect of it because I realize that most things that people lose, they look for it. If you lose your keys, you go look for your keys. If you lose your money, you go look for it. I don't want you looking for the weight. Let me help you release this because when you release something, you freely let it go. You don't want it back. It's definitely a mindset and how they think about what it is.
So what you do is you help change, the way people think about stuff and then give them the tools that they need to achieve that goal.
And I tell people, it's a mental, spiritual thing for me. A lot they ask about motivation. I need someone to motivate me. I say, I can't motivate you. I can inspire your motivation. Your motivation is your why. Why do you want to achieve what it is that you want to achieve? And when you can discover what it is that you want to achieve, your why, I can give you the tools that's necessary to do that.
Do you sometimes have to help people find their why?
We do.
Yeah.
We do. Because a lot of people, you literally do not know what it is that they want.
You also mentioned something else. You said, training construction workers to even like a secretary or receptionist. So who would be like an ideal candidate to come and train with you? Is it all over the place?
It's all over. It is all over the place. A lot of people are used to the gyms because it's like me just going and do my own thing. And what I discover even with videotaping, people say when you do a videotape, I can be right in front of you teaching you form and correct movement, and you don't get it down. So what happens when you're at home trying to go from point A to point B? It doesn't give you the transitions all the way in, the hands-on. So I do a lot of hands-on information, hands-on training with people. Videos don't really replace that. I see people when they used to watch, when that karate video was out, and that guy would say, do X, Y, and Z. And I would get people coming in, knowing what to do. It's like, that's not the transition properly.
So it's not like art, when you're watching the guy paint it and you're like, no, this
Bob
becomes
Ross.
a bird.
Right.
No, you got to do it yourself and you can help
Right.
them.
So you're mentioning the video stuff. Have you ever been approached? Were you ever approached like, hey, you should make, market this, we can blow it up big? Or have you ever done any of that stuff in the past?
My late wife and I were doing that. We were going to go on Crunch Fitness, and they were sued because some major things took place. There was a trainer that worked there who had a lady. He prescribed some things for her to do, and he shouldn't have. And of course, that got them in a lot of trouble. The show was canceled.
Dang.
So that was gone.
Yeah, that was gone.
Would you ever consider that again? Because, watching your class, you have, charisma, energy, and the training and the know-how. You have the tools.
Right.
Is that something you'd ever consider?
I would definitely consider it now because I have clients who are in Dubai and all over the world that want that type of information. They're like, can you reach out to us this way? I had a lady I worked with last week she called it to a Zoom, which we interacted through the computer because they want that information.
That's cool.
That's awesome. Who's the exercise guy that already has something like that?
There's a bunch of exercise guys,
Yes.
as far as like
who's
videos.
The guy with the curly hair. And he's, kind of doing those aerobic things. What was his name back in the 90s?
Richard Simmons.
Richard Simmons.
Yeah. He's a big personality.
Exactly.
When we were at your class, there was that kind of energy,
Mhm.
but it was a different approach because it was a HIIT class that day. So they're doing like HIIT exercises.
Exactly.
But the post stuff where you were doing kind of the dances and the moves and the shakes, that kind of reminded me of that.
Can you do that shake again, please? Because that's
Once it gets going, though, it's hard to stop these.
We constantly mix everything up. Every time you come to Heavenly Body, it's going to be a different workout. We don't work the same muscle group all the time. We constantly change the workout. We're constantly changing workout.
yeah. That's cool. And I can definitely see that being there, seeing the high intensity interval training, going from station to station, and also having the warm up, which was
Right.
more of the aerobic and the dance. And it looks like it's fun. Everybody was having a blast.
And then like the part we did with the core board, we do an entire class on balance and core and flexibility. That in itself. So what I did was I took some things out of what we would normally do and combined them together so you can get a feel of what it is that we do.
You also mentioned having students from pretty much everywhere, all over the world. But when we were at your facility, we also were introduced to people who are from all over.
Right. This one lady drove from Katy.
Yeah, it came from Katy. There's the island, Lamarck, all over the place.
I've had ladies drive down from Champions Forest, from Kingwood, from Copperfield, because I've trained in those areas.
Wow.
And we're just really trying to get more people locally to take advantage of that information, that knowledge that's there.
Yeah, there's people next door that maybe they just don't know, or maybe they're
Right.
listening now. And how can they find out more information about Harold Jackson's Heavenly Bodies?
They
What's
can
the best
contact
place?
me at 409-599-0304. I'll go to my website, which is haroldjackson.com, or I'm on Facebook as well.
Nice.
Cool.
Hey, so in 2018, I weighed 225 pounds. My love life was at an all-time low, and my love handles were at an all-time high.
It's true. It's sad, but true.
So, for me, the hardest part about my training and stuff, like if you were looking at the Donald Trump body that I have,
He has a
It's
president
the Donald
body.
Trump body.
Yeah,
Donald
that's-
Trump body.
It's a presidential body.
I do.
Yeah, it sounds good better that way. We'll say
Presidential-
that.
I love it. I have the little curve around the side of my stomach that I call the love handles.
Mhm.
That's the last thing that always goes. Do you have a workout or a routine to help fix those side problems that are usually like my stomach flat now,
Mhm.
still on the sides though.
I tell people abs are made in the kitchen. It's nutrition. As the doctor mentioned earlier, you literally cannot spot reduce. You can do 1,000 crunches, you'll strengthen the muscle, but for the cosmetic of that body, a lot of those things are done in the kitchen. Abs are literally made in the kitchen. It's your
Wow.
nutrition.
Speaking of nutrition and how you eat and diet, what is your thoughts? Like, take us through a normal day. Like, how do you eat?
It really varies for me because I'm more of a spiritual type person. There are days I'm getting maybe 1 or 2 meals. I don't advise it for a lot of people. It's just I have to find out what works for my body. I tell everybody what works for, one person doesn't make work for everybody. And so like this morning I woke up and I had a workout at 5 o'clock this morning. So we start early. And so I got back, I had some whole grain toast, I had a protein shake and some veggies is what I mixed. Again, I had some after that, a couple hours later, some more water and then some more veggies. I'll go back. I'll probably have salmon and some brown rice and asparagus, things of that nature.
Are you a pescatarian? Do you eat?
I eat very little meat.
Okay.
As I said, my daughters both are vegan, and they got me going in that direction.
Yeah. But when you do eat meat, is it mainly fish?
Mainly fish.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
Yeah,
so he eats Presbyterian?
I eat some turkey. That's about all, really. Some turkey and mainly fish.
Turkey and fish.
That's about it.
Wow. So your daughters are vegan, and they're just showing you like,
They're
hey, this
telling
is a better
Dad,
way.
let that go. Here's a better way. That's not good for you. We cut the milk because all the inflammation with the milk that causes and that thing of that nature.
Yeah. So are they into fitness as well?
They are into fitness. Yeah, they're into fitness. My baby is 21, and then my oldest is 24. I have 2 with my late wife, and I have 4 with my current wife. She had 4 when I met her. So we have a 24, a 21, and 2 21s, 18. There is a 13 and 11-year-old, 14 and 11-year-olds.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's-
And my 18-year-old is special needs. He's high functioning autism. So he's nonverbal. So we take care of him. We're his voice. So I
Wow.
spend a lot of time with him.
Yeah. Do you feel in a way, I know your mother and you share like everything that she's done for you, and that love she kind of showed you and taught you.
Mhm.
I don't even know how to say this, but like, do you feel like that's embodied like in you whenever you're able to do that for your son now?
It
You
is.
take care.
I find myself now, he's nonverbal. I was bathing him one night and he reached up and just kissed me. I'm like, wow. He doesn't talk, but it's like he let me know he appreciated what was been done for him. And I'm honored to do it because I remember my uncle taking care and bathing, feeding and clothing me. My mother was a single parent, so she did everything by herself. And, my uncle would come and help her out and things of that nature. So yeah, I love to give back to people. And so when I was in the hospital with Heavenly Bodies, I came to that name in a dream one time, Heavenly Bodies. I said there would be no bodies in heaven, but if there were, it'd be the most beautiful things you can imagine and think of. Hence, I got the name Heavenly Bodies. And so what kind of care do I want? I want to, really serve people because I want to be able to give people a lot of the things that I didn't get and even more. So I've always had a genuine love for people.
Yeah. So, man, because you did mention the dreams. Is that something that you have? Like
I do regularly. I started seeing things before 12, 13 years of age. I started seeing things before they happened, and we didn't understand that. It took me years to begin to really grasp that. This is just something's going to be a part of my life. To see something happen or in a dream and then you physically see it manifest, it's like it could be scary for a 12, 13-year-old.
Yeah. And some people do have that gift where I guess the best way to describe it, I've heard some people say, God just kind of opens up, a window and you're able just to see a
Right.
glimpse and you just kind of like, wow. And then I can see a kid being like, what do I do with
Right.
that? What happened?
And for years when things not so good happen, you think it's your fault.
Mhm.
And it took some doctors to explain that's not your fault. This is things that's taking place. It's how you have to deal with these things. It's not your fault. It is your problem. You have to deal with it.
Wow. Curt, what do you think? You love the love handles. There's not a lot of love. You don't love them, do you? We want them to go. We got to release, right?
Release
It's
the
a
Kraken.
Yes.
It's a lot of it has to do with like a mental.
And the
mental
information that I heard earlier from Dr. Chapa was amazing. I mean, I would have probably been healed a whole lot faster had I had someone like him working with me at that time because
It's
Yeah.
all
Incredible.
natural what he does.
Exactly.
It's really kind of cool because it's stuff from the ground. It's stuff from the earth that's really feeding
Yes.
your body the right way.
aspect.
He's talked a lot about MS patients,
Mhm.
who just by changing their diet no longer have MS, which I thought
And
was
that's
cool.
what I had to do. I had 2 doctors was telling my mom to change his diet because I had temporal lobe seizures. And so when I changed my diet and weaned off the medication, I became better. Just changing some of the things that I was eating.
Yeah. I mean, how did you eat before? Like, how big of a change was that for you?
It was pretty big. I mean, a lot of processed foods, things of that magnitude. I had to wean myself off of some of those things.
Yeah.
It helped a whole lot.
Yeah. I mean, sugar, and caffeine, they are very, for lack of a better word, they're addicting. We usually would drink energy drinks every morning
Exactly.
and everything else, and it just becomes a routine. And then there's that feeling when you have to break that habit, and it's not fun.
And then more water. There's a book I was reading called Your Body's Many Cries for Water, how it helps the joints and everything. Water is just so effective.
How much water do you try and drink a day?
Close to a gallon a day.
Yeah.
I literally
Gallon
do.
a day.
I do literally from my body. I do.
That's
Wow.
awesome. That's what we're supposed to be doing, but it's hard.
It's supposed to be doing.
We're trying.
That
Ah,
gallon over there, how long has that been going?
This is day 3, but
day 3.
to be fair, like I was, around here, so day 1 and day 2, and so yeah, I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm trying more, so I'll buy a new one of these today and go from there. But yeah, no, we're drinking a lot more water. And one thing Dr. Chapa says is it's hard to make these switches.
Mhm.
Even if you feel like, well, I can't cut this out. Well, at least cut some of it out,
Right.
because it's better than if you just be like, well, I'm not going to do anything.
Little
You know-
by little. I mean, I tell people it's the little foxes that destroy the vine. It takes time to do that.
Yeah. So when are you having classes, at Heavenly Bodies? When can somebody come in and join, or how does that work?
I have classes in the AM, and I'm a private training facility. People say, "Are you a gym?" No, we're personal training facilities. So we mainly do a lot of group personal training. We do the training camp in which you guys saw, and we pair things off. So I do have some groups that I have Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning at 9 a.m. People can call for those classes because we're by appointment only. And the reason why we're by appointment only, a lot of my clients are 400 pounds, 500 pounds. And so they don't want people standing there watching them and while they exercise. So we try to create that environment where they can get the personal one-on-one that's needed for them. A lot of my clients that do come from me have come from other facilities because they didn't get the one-on-one. And that's what we provide for every client that comes to the door.
Do you have anything in the evenings? Like if somebody
have
wanted
evenings.
after work?
I have even 5:30. We have a Lamarck class. We're working with just Lamarck residents only. 5:30, 6:30, Tuesday, Thursday, and we're getting that class filled up right now. We're registering for that class.
That's awesome.
Yes.
If you're in Lamarck and you want to try that out, maybe go and register. Definitely. I think we tagged Harold Jackson's Heavenly Bodies in here. If somebody sends you a Facebook message on there
Exactly. I
or
can reach
contacts
out.
you,
Yes,
Cool,
we
I know-
can get them in.
that's what's up. So go check it out. You can watch the video that we posted yesterday to get a sneak peek of what is going to be going on.
Yeah, and that's our Shine on Lamarck series. We're posting a new video from every business every other week. So every other Monday, we're dropping a new video. I think coming up next is Dickie's Barbecue, which is just opening up. But our current one is Heavenly Bodies. One of the things that you mentioned in the video, and I thought that this was really kind of cool, is you talked about that you had the vision of make Lamarck great again. And it was like, oh, that's awesome. How have you felt being here for 3 years, and what have you noticed, and what do you expect for the future?
Currently, I want to get more people involved. A lot of people in Lamarck just don't really exercise. From what I find, most of my clients come from other cities, and we're trying to get people in Lamarck to make their body a priority before it becomes a priority. A lot of people come to me once they're injured. I say, is an injury something take place? I said, there's nothing that makes us appreciate our bodies more than to be injured. So let's do that beforehand. Exercise is preventative maintenance for your health. So we try to get them in to get them the one-on-one, the attention that their body deserves. I'm like, one like, so I can't really afford X, Y, and Z. I said, let me help you with that. And we have a program that anybody can basically do. And so we go through some things that teach them how to change some things that they're doing. And many don't want to make those changes. It's like, I know what to do, but I won't have the discipline to do it.
Right.
And so that's what we have to really focus on when we do classes. If we work on the mindset to say, hey, begin to appreciate your body.
So check this out, Brooks. Brooks, first of all, good morning to you, sir. Thank you for taking the time to tune in. He said, I was feeling inspired to eat healthier. Then you mentioned barbecue. Hey, you know what? Why don't you have some barbecue chicken today? Dickie's isn't open yet, but the Texas Pit Stop is. Go have some turkey and get some sides. You know, you can still manage to eat healthier and not necessarily cut out that barbecue from your life.
Or just have one cheat meal every day of your life.
Every day of your life.
Yeah, that's called the cheat life. Kurt informed me of what that was last year about this time. Cheat life.
A lot of my clients, they have a cheat day, and we make it on Sunday because they're going to train Monday.
Yeah.
And so every Monday they want to feel better after that exercise, so they do less and less and less.
Always say never miss a Monday workout.
Exactly.
I always feel like after working out, I want to make sure I stay on that healthy bandwagon because I just put all this work in. You know, I woke up early. I went and did this and went and did that. Why am I going to put something in my body that's going to make me maybe potentially feel bad or undo the work that I just woke up at 5 a.m. and went and did, you know?
And I find a lot of people that tell me, say, I know what to do, but the discipline to do it. And that's what we have to, we go back and find in. I mean, I say, you know, my thing that I work with people on is information application transformation. So we give you the information, but if you have the information and don't apply it, there's no transformation. So when we give you the tools that's needed, apply it in order to get your transformation.
You know, for me, it is really super, super important about like just staying on it. We used to have a group a couple of years ago. It was Go Nuts for Donuts. So we would go running in the morning and then afterwards go and get donuts and play video games.
What?
It was probably not the best idea, but
I was not a part of that.
You're not a part of that group?
No.
It was me and my buddy Jimmy. Yeah, we would go nuts for donuts. We would go for about a mile or two run.
It was probably like 250 yards. I could see
jump in the car and we would go get donuts and then we would sit and play video games all morning. It was the greatest thing. It was the best summer of my life.
It's the best summer.
That's probably the highlight of your life, isn't it?
I still got up and went and ran for the donuts.
For the donuts.
For the donuts. Go
Yeah.
nuts for donuts.
Well,
We're going to start that up maybe with all of our KHEA listeners. Again,
you can do that.
go nuts for donuts.
I'm not that big. I mean, I love some of the certain like donut places and businesses around here, but for me, there's other things I would rather have and partake in, you know. And so it's all about balance. You get like, okay, I can't have donuts every day. You know, maybe I'll have a kolache, or you know, sometimes I'll have half a kolache, and yeah, it's just like it's a special thing.
The healthy cookie,
I'm
the
not a
Lenny
healthy
and
cookie.
Larry's cookie.
I'm not into those.
Dang,
It's not for me. Yeah.
And balance is the key. You know, it's like even in the workout balance, I'll see a lot of people that strictly work on strength training and not the flexibility and the balance. So you want to have everything balanced out. You have to do everything as in a balance. That's the key, is balance.
You know, speaking of balance, we are helping promote and get this event out that's happening this evening at Burger Nation, who's one of our partners. And for me, I think what I'm going to do is either get their chicken or get some of their turkey and just put it in a lettuce wrap. And then with some of the, like, you can put like an egg on there and some vegetables and some other stuff. But I think that's what I'm going to do. You know, what's going on there this evening is if you go to Burger Nation, which is located off of NASA, really close to NASA, actually across from the McDonald's, Burger Nation is going to donate 20% of the proceeds to Moms on a Mission, MOM, which is a local nonprofit. And that's going to go towards a local student scholarship this year that'll be able to go and have some of their college paid for. So yeah,
That's awesome.
everybody go check that out if you feel like it. It's at Burger Nation NASA. If you search that, it'll pop up. But what time is it, Kurt?
I believe it's 5 to 9.
Say,
tonight.
hey,
Make sure you use the code word mom.
MOM. Just say I'm here for the support,
Code word mom.
the moms, you know, and they'll know what you're talking about. So go do that today. We'll probably share that event out as well. Right now it's 10:54. This is KHEAradio.com, 99.5 FM. Right now we have a couple minutes left. We're speaking with Harold Jackson from Harold Jackson's Heavenly Bodies, located in downtown Lamarck.
Yes.
You know, do you have anything else? Any final closing thoughts as we're running out of time here, about to wrap it up?
We want to tell people this: give us a call and we can get you jump start on a program to health and wellness. You know, exercise is indeed good medicine. Come out and support Lamarck. We'd love to help you out and get you from one point to the next, take you from beginning goal to your results is what we want to do.
That's awesome. What you got, Kurt?
I was, as we wrap up, I know we have still about 5 minutes here, but I just wanted to say rest in peace to our webcam. That has served us well for the last year. Our webcam is going away. Today is the last show of KHEA
Wow.
Kickstart, the way that it is.
with the webcam.
We are sitting after the show, and we're going to be putting in all of the starting phase 1, I think, of a 4-phase,
Maybe 10. It
10
depends
phase
on-
process of upgrading the equipment here.
4-phase process.
4-phase process. It sounds cool, doesn't it?
No.
No.
3.
3-phase
Yeah.
process to upgrade KHEA radio. So this is the last time that you'll see us in SD webcams.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're gonna have 4 cameras here in studio in
4
separate
cameras.
places. So people are like, "Hey, I can't see the guest that well." So now it's gonna be like, "Bam! Now you can see our guest perfect." Or
See
now
me
you can
working
see
out over
me and the
here.
guest. Yeah, that's why we're gonna be like, "Hey, we gotta get
more.
makeup." Oh yeah, so it's exciting. Tomorrow, tune in and bear with us as we get used to learning the equipment.
I'm so excited because we're going to be able to do graphics. We're going to be able to do videos. So let's say, for instance, that you have a business or a business that you want to partner with KHEA Radio. We can actually shoot a commercial for you, run that commercial during our show. So we'd be like, hold up, Harold. We got to take a commercial break. We got to play this video for Harold Jackson. You don't know what it is?
Awesome.
Here it is. Play the
Hey,
video.
Brooke said you're not losing your webcam, you're releasing it, because if we lose it, then something happens. We may accidentally get it back.
Get it back.
That's true. Hey, Ricardo, you need to come let us film so we can drop a video during our show.
Yeah.
Just let us come hang out with you at your location.
Yeah, so that's going to take place. Today is the last day of
Yeah.
webcam KHEA Radio.
So everybody tune in tomorrow, because I'm excited to see what it's going to look like too. And I'm sure we'll run some tests. I'm not sure if it'll be from KHEA. Maybe we'll run it from something else, but we're going to be running tests and seeing what it looks like. Again, Mr. Jackson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
I had a lot of fun today.
I loved it.
Yeah, and also be sure to go check out that video. We dropped it yesterday. I believe it's the pinned video on our KHEA radio page. If you want to get that behind the scenes inside glimpse, hey, what can I expect if I go visit Harold Jackson's Heavenly Bodies? You will get a good idea, but it's going to be changed up every day. It's some fun, and have a good time.
Yeah, coming up on tomorrow's show, we have Get Together Bay Area, and then also we're sitting down with Chick-fil-A as they get ready to have their stuffed animal night out, which is going to be really fun this weekend, I believe.
I like that it says Chick-fils, and you didn't autocorrect
I
it.
didn't autocorrect.
And then also I like that you have your lunch scheduled in here. Lunch 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
He went in
He's got it
there.
all scheduled.
He put a lunch in there.
I put a lunch in my other schedule. That's not our radio
He's
schedule.
just funny at it. All right, guys. Hey, we love y'all. It's about 11 o'clock. This has been Kickstart. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Again, sir, thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys.
Coming up next, some Toby Mac. See the Light. This is a brand new song. Thank you, Ethan. Thank you, Crystal, for putting this stuff in here. We appreciate y'all taking the time to join us. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 8:30. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. All right, Facebook. YouTube. We'll see you when we see you.
Maybe this is it.
Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
you're getting all new equipment?
We love you.
We actually are.